Is there a way to do linked channels? Because it's really hard to see who's actually talking at what time.
I saw that, and no.
Damn.
So, hopefully you guys have a really tall monitor. Anyways, welcome to the meeting. Thank you guys so much for showing up. I know it's Saturday at like the middle of the day, or for Australians, it's like 5 a.m., or for Europeans, it's Saturday night. So I know you guys are taking your free time to show up here, and I really appreciate it. Just some insights. Last time we had a global whitelist meeting was in like October, and we held the meeting in secret because I wanted people to be able to speak their thoughts freely without fear of getting hated on later on down the line by the rest of the community. And what ended up happening was there was like a second meeting that was held, and someone leaked a screenshot from that. So it kind of defeats the purpose of having a secret meeting if everyone's gonna know who's in the meeting anyways. So this time it's public. Also got a lot of feedback last time that you guys wanted to be able to see what was going on in the meeting. So for those of you guys who like have really strong opinions that might not be popular, I'm really sorry about that. I won't be able to protect you from people knowing who you are and what your opinions are. But I also think that if you really believe something about the direction of the game, you should speak up. So today's meeting, we have a soft cap in 1 hour. So at 1 o'clock, I'm going to remind everyone that we need to wrap it up. But I have a hard cap at 2 hours. So we're just going to, like, no matter where we're at in 2 hours, I'm just going to call it. Everyone's going to be free to go. You know, the people here that are the real decision makers are the admins. So they're just volunteering their time to listen to the community. Ultimately, they make the call on what the unlocks are for their respective leagues. But I mean, the goal of this meeting is to get everyone on the same page around the world. The goal is to get everyone around the world to use the same exact whitelist. I don't think that's a very unpopular opinion. I think everyone kind of agrees that we should all be looking to use the same whitelist. The debate is around which specific unlocks should and shouldn't be allowed in that whitelist. I think the nice part about this second meeting is that we're not starting from scratch. We already have a whitelist that everyone kind of agreed on for the last 4 months or so. But this is an opportunity for you guys to give your feedback on that whitelist, and then kind of go from there. This isn't like a permanent whitelist. There's by no means set in stone. Last time we unbanned the atomizer and the base jumper, you guys scrimmed on it for 2 days, and then we unbanned it. So I think, you know, people are fairly flexible. This shouldn't be that big of a deal. It's not a life or death situation. It's just a simple matter of let's get everyone on the same page. So with that, I'm going to open up the conversation to whoever has the strongest opinion in the room.
Don't think anything needs to be changed, if I'm perfectly honest.
Ban the Sandman and the guillotine.
Unban?
Unban?
Yeah, unban it.
No.
Why not?
Quality
The
discussion.
Natasha's unbanned.
Yeah, the Natasha should be banned as well.
I mean, we already have movement-slowing weapons in the whitelist. Why wouldn't we add more?
I think Natasha's pretty bad. Like, not that strong.
No, it's like pretty nuts. Like, you get a buff and you sit in your spawn door revved up. This is like on maps that you can shoot the point from spawn. And then if the enemy shoots you, you walk into spawn and hit your reset bind. And if the enemy doesn't shoot you, they're getting slowed down as soon as their Uber ends. And then the DPS on it is still pretty high. I was doing it in scrims to 20B, like every single last push. And if they tried to focus me, I never died. And if they didn't, I fucked on like their after Uber. It's just retarded, but it's allowed.
Isn't this slowdown scaled down on how far away you're from the enemy anyway? So like, you should only be slowed down considerably if you're close to him, in which case you should die anyway, because you know, it's a
the same on all
close to him.
distances.
Yeah, but you don't, as soon as, like, they can get close to you and you don't die because you can just resub, like, the respawn bind.
90% of the time, they're going to go close to you because you're near the spawn door. They're like, oh, I think I'm going to kill this heavy, but they don't realize that the heavy is, like, pretty much by the spawn door, and you could just resub, or click his resub bind.
I think I might have started this conversation in the wrong direction. Let me try a different way. I think that we should probably do the least amount of work here and just keep the whitelist relatively similar to last season's whitelist, which was about 22 weapons. Does anyone want to make any massive changes from 22 weapons, or are we just nitpicking 1 or 2 weapons here and there?
Okay, why have we decided that unbanning weapons is good? Because I feel like you made that decision,
Sure.
and like I don't think many people agree with it, and I don't see any reason why unbanning a lot of weapons is good.
Yeah, it's no
Okay.
need at all. The weapons.
Let
are
me
banned.
tackle that question then. So last time we did this, I actually didn't select any weapons. I like projected my ideas. I said that we should ban like a ton of weapons. There's a ton of stuff that's been banned for no reason, and then that was kind of it. For example, there's a bunch of weapons in there that are not hurting the game, like the Fan of War, for example. I mean, you might go in here and say, what's the point of unbanning the Fan of War? No one uses it anyways. I was like, look, what's the point of banning it for no reason? I think that we should just try and unban stuff. That was my general approach.
I agree with that approach.
So what is that?
So if you
what is that
if you
game?
want to ban the Fan of War just because people don't use it, I think that's kind of a silly policy. I think we should just try and ban as much stuff as possible.
Can
and
I
keep
ask
a
a
smaller
question,
blacklist.
Lynn?
Sure.
Can I? What's the point of a whitelist? Why do we have one?
Because the devs are fucking awful.
So the reason why we have it is because people don't like playing with certain items. For example, we unbanned the base jumper last season, and then everyone just like didn't want to play competitive anymore with in a world where the base jumper exists.
I
So
still play.
that's why we have it.
So who's everyone?
Nice work, Eldriff.
Huh? Like 4 NA teams would have died if the base jumper was allowed.
But do you know that?
What?
Do you know that for sure?
I know my team would have died. Was told Meat Market would have died.
But my
Especially
point is, what is the purpose of a whitelist? Like, why do we have one in the first place?
because the weapons aren't balanced for competitive play. So
Okay,
if you
who's
want to play
balancing it? Who's
competitive,
balancing competitive play? Are we doing it? Are Valve doing it? Is ETF2L doing it? Is ESEA
Valve's
doing
not
it?
doing it. That's
It's a
for
little
sure.
bit of
I
both,
think the
Matt.
real answer is just stuff people don't want to play with, which is perfectly fine. I think. Like,
That's the point. I don't mind if we have unlock a whitelist that's very open, or if it's not very open. But I'm really confused what the purpose of a whitelist is. Like, some people want to balance the game modes to fill it in with their
I don't
vision.
think it's that. I mean,
Some people
maybe
don't want to
some
balance
people
it.
say that, but
Some people think some weapons are overpowered. Some don't. Some don't follow the same logic as others. It's just a mess.
It is a mess. And last time we had this meeting, we had like specific rules that we were going by about what items we were banning
Well,
and unbanning.
give us the rules and
Well, that's what
then
we spent the first
let's
15
make sure they
minutes.
follow it. What are the rules?
Yeah. So could you remind us, Lynn? Or are
I
we
don't remember
discarding
is the
those
problem.
They're
But
in
the
the-
rules have to be something along the lines of like
They're in the
just
article.
want to unban as much stuff as possible. That was the goal. The goal was to unban as much stuff as possible and only ban stuff that was truly game breaking.
Okay, so what's a game breaking weapon?
Something that
Critical.
Well, you can't explain what it is. So how do we know that we should ban it? You need to explain it.
Here, I
well,
posted the link in the group chat,
Ah.
by the way, the channel chat, that had the outline of the rules essentially. It's down at the quote at the bottom. Essentially, it
I mean-
says if it was glitched, we banned it. If it was strongly undermining skill-based play, if it dramatically changed the concept of 6v6 or specific classes, and is it overpowered? I guess those were the main criteria. I don't think anywhere in there is this slightly annoying a criteria, and I think that was a good decision not to include that.
the other point is that my only real purpose in this meeting is just to get everyone to use the same thing. And I don't want a situation where Europeans want this and North Americans want that. I think we should just all use the same thing. So past that, I actually really don't care what we do. I that's why I want to leave it up to you guys to discuss with the admins or whatever you want to do. Like, ultimately, you guys are the ones who have to play with it at the end of the season or at the beginning of the season. So
I don't think anyone wants to unban anything. Like, I think people, the stuff that's banned, people are pretty happy with leaving them banned. There might be some discussion about allowing some stuff, but I would say I feel like everyone agrees with what's been banned already, so we don't need to cover that
Yeah.
anymore.
So I'll counter that, Turbo, by saying that last season there were over 55 weapons banned in ESEA, and this season we unbanned like 30 of them. And I think we just still ended up with a pretty good season of TF2. So I think people are scared to unban stuff, but for example, like the Dalagos bar, I just don't think it would be significantly game breaking.
Well,
Same
it
with the
had a bug, but now it was fixed, so no reason
now
not
it's
to
fixed.
unban it.
Well, that's what someone, I don't know who was saying earlier, but someone was questioning like, why should we even unban such a thing if no one's going to use it? But I just think we should unban stuff in general.
So what is? I still don't. What's to gain from unbanning weapons? Like,
Oh,
what's to gain from unbanning
I could talk
borderline
about this.
weapons?
Here, all right. A lot of unbans will expand what off classes can do, and I think that that's something that makes the game more interesting and fun. And also a lot of items that have been unbanned recently that got actual competitive testing were later balanced by Valve to be more in line when they were already like borderline, maybe slightly overpowered. And there's a few items that I would say fall into that category, but they're by no means game breaking. So by playing with them, we only gain to understand them better and to work towards getting them rebalanced to be properly, like competitively balanced.
I mean, I
Does
agree
it-
with you, Penny, but I want to play devil's advocate. How does it make it more fun for some people? Because a lot of people complain that it isn't fun. I mean, don't get me wrong, I agree.
I mean, someone's can argue for it not being fun during like at any point in time.
But you just argued for it being fun. So what's the difference?
Well, yeah, I guess it's just a matter of what you value more. I personally think like the like variants and different strategies being viable, allowing different playstyles to be viable is a worthy pursuit.
Does it? I don't think it allows like a lot of unlocks just make the off classes better. Like you have the Machina, so before you had to hit people in the head and you couldn't shoot through people, and now you can shoot through people and your body shots do more damage. But it's not like you're playing differently on Sniper. You're still scoping in and shooting people, but
Yeah,
sometimes
I agree.
your shot goes through someone and kills a medic behind him.
The Machina
what is
could
that
definitely
adding?
use a lot
see
of
what you're saying.
changes, but like
Uh,
if the Machina, now that we've played with it, like you could argue for banning the Machina, but now we've actually played with it, so we can provide
Well,
feedback to change it.
I
But
don't think
there's
that's
a lot of other items that are currently banned that we actually have never tested. Even the Atomizer and Base Jumper weren't really thoroughly tested until they were considered unbanned. And those 2 days of using them generated like a ton of experience that we could actually use to like give feedback on how these items are affecting competitive gameplay. And there's so many other items that are on the list that are in that borderline situation or have been changed and not been tested. There's like 6 items that I think could be like given a second chance or another look, which would be like Quick Fix, Pomson, Sydney Sleeper, Soda Popper, things like this. I think
Isn't Thompson bugged or?
I'm not sure, to be honest, but
Okay,
it won't do
so
anything.
this season though, Valve didn't do anything with any of the like weapons that we played with. There hasn't been.
That's not true.
When was the last update that like changed item properties?
The last major rebalancing update was the Meet Your Match update, which was in July.
Right, and this season started in like a
Well,
lot after that, and then we unbanned a bunch of stuff, and now nothing's happened. Like we just played a whole
Well-
season, and then there's a whole off season, and nothing has been rebalanced from that. So
Yeah,
to say
they
that-
do it during their major updates, which the next one we know is coming soon, which makes this more complicated. Well, this year we know it's
I
coming this
mean,
year.
we
This
think they're
year
gonna
is so
do-
incredibly vague. It's January.
Yeah, but
What?
no one knows the release date.
Yeah, that's the thing. We can't count on Valve actually doing anything because they never tell us what's going on. So to just unban like borderline weapons if the argument you're using is that we're unbanning them so Valve can rebalance them based on feedback, if they're not going to even acknowledge that they're using that feedback and do something with it, like that's just not a good argument.
But
because
they
it's
are. Literally go look at the Meet Your Match update notes and look through all the item changes that were relevant to competitive, and you'll see things like Cozy Camper, Iron Bomber, Quick Fix, things
but
like
they
that being
didn't
changed.
they didn't do anything. They did that on their own. Like they
No,
didn't
they
do that
did.
because we were playing with it.
No, you're wrong. I'm sorry to say. They
Benny,
did
do
it
you know
100%
something
based
that
on
we don't?
feedback. Who's that?
I am the UGC admin.
Do I
Who
know
is-
something you don't know? I already told you what I know. Valve
It's just
listens to competitive feedback.
it's just that the rest of us haven't really seen that directly.
I think what he's trying to ask is where do Valve get their feedback from the competitive community? Like, where do they get it from? Do they get it from you directly, or do they browse our forum? No.
Yeah, they browse forums. Like they've
Oh God, they
said
do.
this kind of
That's
stuff.
so.
I mean, everyone should know that Valve is like paying attention, but they're just not participating necessarily in the conversation, which is maybe frustrating. But I mean, I've reached out to them and offered many suggestions, and I would encourage everybody to do that too.
So they read Mookie posts.
They read what?
They
Mookie
read
posts.
TFTV, like you've seen them post on TFTV.
Yeah,
But
and
TFTV isn't the only place.
sending
exactly.
emails and things like that, making Reddit threads, like all these things have impact.
Yeah, I sent them an email, and I can tell you guys, Demoman is getting a shotgun within the next 4 months. I'm
Okay,
telling
so
you.
like in the Meet Your Match update, they buffed the Sydney Sleeper, which has been banned in sixes for like years. So do they really give a like there's a bunch of stuff here that's like either weapons that are banned just getting useless
Well,
changes.
even the Sydney Sleeper is banned like somewhat on that principle of this is an unfun weapon. It's not necessarily banned because it's game breaking or overpowered, you know what I mean?
Girardi's unbanned now. Why not unban the Sydney Sleeper now? It's the same
Sure.
mechanic.
Except you can do it at range.
Yeah, but it's fine.
Why is that fine? Why is it fine that you can do it from range instead of close up? That makes no sense.
The point is, why not test it in some fashion? You know what I mean? And there's
Because
a lot
there's
of items.
nothing to gain from it. Like, look, July 7th, 2016, the patch came out. So we're like
I think
pretty far removed from that time now.
What Sam is trying to say, and what a lot of people are trying to say, especially in chat, you can, like, people are saying, why don't you just be patient? But, like, you can't just wait 1 year, because it is. It's going to be probably, like, 1 per year is what it's seeming like, almost, as of now, because we don't know. You can't just wait 1 time per year, like 5 weapons that we use or want to use.
So what do you want to do with the whitelist? Do you want to, like, I guess judging by the way you're speaking, is you want the whitelist to be how you want to balance the game?
Pretty similar to how it is. A sentry across like the other side of the point. Like you can literally sit and spawn in some maps.
How's it fair to
The weapon's all
as a
full.
sniper and snipe people from across
Because
the
you
map?
have to aim to play sniper.
There's plenty of risk associated with placing a sentry forward.
It's obviously better though. Like 90% of the time, it's a more optimal position to put your sentry. I can't think of a single. I legitimately cannot think of a single place that you can put a sentry that would be better than close up behind a corner. If you can sit in the spawn, I'm saying. For example, on the Sunshine maps, if it's close rather than far, that means that that you can spam it much harder rather. Sorry. So I don't really see how that.
You repair your sentry better with a wrench than
Yeah,
with
but
the
they
rescue
don't.
ranger.
Yeah, I know, but they don't know it's there until after like at least 30 to 50% of the Uber is wasted.
Why? Why not?
Why? Because it's in the corner.
That's why you scout it out and get information before you push.
This is completely like the user error. What you're describing.
I mean,
and even
like,
if you see the sentry, like you just use the same number of stickies as you always
I mean,
did,
it happens
and
here
it gets destroyed
so
instantly.
often. I don't really know. It also happened like last season in grand finals. I'm pretty sure too against your team.
I'm
So I don't
gonna
really
try
know.
and make
Like
some
that
progress
same
here,
thing.
'cause we'll be
Rescue
arguing
Ranger?
like this.
Cool.
No point.
That
Like,
means we fucked
so
up, man.
why
Not
do you
gonna
want
let-
to?
There's another unlock for it called the lock and load. Corsa.
Why do you want
Also,
to
there's a-
promote gameplay that's sitting in your spawn door, holding mouse 1 at a sentry? Like,
that's my
that
point.
doesn't feel like
Isn't that what
competitive
gameplay is?
TF2. Like
Isn't
you're
that what gameplay is?
sitting
That's just a
stationary
core
in your
part of-
spawn door.
Like if that was the logic, you'd be arguing for banning sniper and heavy as well, or literally like it would disable your mouse 1 if you're in spawn. Like, are these this is the train of thought that you're going on right now.
I think the goal of competitive TF2 should be like high skilled players do well, and you don't want things that compress the difference between good
I mean,
players
is your
and bad
team gonna
players.
beat EVL?
Well,
Like,
what Sam is trying to say is
you
that
have
it's
the
the combination of
like
both.
Rescue Ranger? It's not gonna make a difference.
It's not just sitting in spawn. It's the combination of sitting in spawn and it being easy to aim.
Like, so when we
So-
play EVL, it doesn't. The Natasha and the Rescue Ranger, it doesn't do anything, but it makes them fail half their last pushes.
Well, I mean, I just looked up the logs of the scrims you referenced against 20B, and you lost every single one of them. So I really don't see it having that big of an impact.
Alright, we don't have to make this personal.
I don't
This is
think
more
think you should argue with results because no matter what, because the whitelist affects everybody. A team that was better than another team is still going to remain better than another team. That won't matter. I think the problem is that the results are like not the results. The whole gameplay is slightly slower because of that mechanic.
Gameplay's slow anyway.
Yeah, but the gameplay is
That's not
still
an
slower.
argument, though.
That's not, yeah, the gameplay is still slower. Even
So
if the
you want
gameplay.
the whitelist to speed up gameplay?
No, see, I don't
whitelist.
I don't really care what happens with whitelist. All I want to do is play a game I like. And so far, like I think everybody's on two different pages about what they want out of the game. One side of TF2 wants it to resemble more like the actual game. Like I think Banny and Mr. Slyn want as much as TF2 available in like the version we play. When you got people like Sam and Corsa who want to play a game that they 100% enjoy. And they think the unlocks take away from that, while Swin and Benny want the unlocks to resemble more of what everybody else plays in.
I don't mind these things being unbanned. It's just like specific things like the Rescue Ranger.
I don't mind
Yeah,
things
I
being
think
unbanned.
specific things are fine.
Just
My
stuff that
whole
I
thing
don't
is like,
like
let's not
banned.
go out of our way to ban stuff.
That's what you're saying. I don't mind things being unbanned, but I just things I don't like. Can you ban them, please? So that's what you're saying.
Can we unban Soda Popper, please?
I mean,
agree.
it's not just me. It's like 90% of the people who play
That's
competitive.
what you're saying. Yeah, it's just the argument. I don't mind unlocks being unbanned, but can we ban things?
It
I
might
don't
be
like?
my argument, but it's everyone else's argument.
But then everybody likes different things.
But no, like you can read the forums and literally see that. It's an arbitrary number, 90%. Most people do not like playing, or not just not like it. They think it's not a very intelligent concept to have the Rescue Ranger in competitive.
Can we not like talk about the Rescue Ranger? This is not going to get us anywhere.
All right.
I think the original purpose of the global whitelist.
Excuse me. Let me
Grant
talk.
was.
Thank you. I think you're gonna ban Rescue Ranger after playing against Crowns Atlan.
Depends if they win.
Yeah, you will actually. To be
When
fair,
I don't
having
think you're gonna win anything.
conversation
Good luck, man.
during,
All right. So,
like
anyways,
before an event is also kind of hard to call.
the Rescue
So-
Ranger is AIDS, dude. You should definitely like. It just makes the game really stalematey, and like if that's what you want to watch, like it's not fun to play and it's not fun to actually watch the
Turbo.
game.
The game is
This is a
stalematey.
completely pointless conversation, guys. There's like 5 weapons in the game that'll break the game, and just to argue over
This
the
is the
broken ones are just
only
gonna not get us.
conversation that matters. We're only going to be everybody already knows the weapons that are on the fence. So the decision is: do we allow the weapons that are on the fence or not?
Yeah, it's still worth talking about the.
That's
inside.
the important discussion. I can't
Yeah,
think of anything else.
There's no point in talking about the Rescue Ranger because we're gonna ban it anyways. The atomizer's
what?
not gonna
How
get a
is the
ban next
banning-
season.
gonna
No,
be handled? Like,
I
is
mean,
it gonna be
some people
voted
think the
or
Rescue Ranger should be banned.
Some, like majority, thinks that the Rescue Ranger
I think
should
the
be
majority
banned.
think the Rescue Ranger should be banned.
But
It's
how are
I
you
don't
gonna
want to.
actually
My
tally
goal
those
isn't.
numbers? That's what I'm curious about.
It's going to be a very difficult meeting if we just try and like go really hard one way or the other. I'd rather make it a slow process and just start with the low hanging fruit. Let's just unban the really easy stuff that is like a no brainer to unban. So, anyways, the point of the last global meeting, we said that like we had an open communication with Valve and we could like give them feedback on weapons. Like it's all in there. Like we went to Valve and talked to them about those weapons, right? So I agree with like a lot of people here. Like you want to have fun with your game, and there's also a very strong possibility that Valve will not implement vast sweeping changes to like weapon unlocks in the next 6 months. So let's just leave the really, really broken stuff banned, like the Rescue Ranger, like Atomizer, like Base Jumper. And then let's just look to unban some other stuff and keep the whitelist relatively the same size. Is that agreeable?
How about
So
the
like we would
Locos
shrink
bar?
it from
That's a good
we
one
would
to
shrink
start
it from like we could shrink it from like I don't know 22 items down to like 12. And I'm sure there's some stuff in there that you guys don't like, but there's also some stuff that's really not a big deal. Like maybe you guys will complain about the cleaver, but maybe you wouldn't complain about Fist of Steel, or maybe you complain about the Fist of Steel, but you wouldn't like the
So you're just going to ban stuff
steak
that
sandwich.
people complain about. That's it. Just ban stuff if someone complains about it.
Yeah, exactly. And then
Let's-
once we
let's
get
ban
down
the
to a list of
crossbow
like
then.
8 weapons,
Yeah, it's a slippery slope, man. Like,
Let's ban the crossbow.
or gunboats, like Fritz Krieg.
well,
Anyone
that's the
could
thing.
generate like
That's why I
a
don't.
argument against any of these items.
That's why our criteria last time was not to like have someone complain about it and then we ban it, because someone is always going to complain about something. The idea was just let's just ban like super game breaking stuff, and if everyone agrees Rescue Ranger is really game breaking,
Is it though?
Yes, it is, because you can just sit and spawn and fucking
That's
arrow your sentry, and
not
then you can just
game-breaking.
the sentry goes down and you just switch off immediately instead of being in the firing, like instead of being in the line of fire for taking rockets.
It's not game breaking.
Like
It's,
honestly, before when you ran NG, you had to be like close range, so you can hit it with your wrench. So like whenever the enemy team like hubert in, they had to like while they were shooting the sentry, they were also shooting the engineer at the same time. But when you have Rescue Ranger, you just sit and spawn, and
I kinda
just
see-
shoot your gun.
Yes,
I just
that's
let
how
me
the
ask you
weapon
this: like,
works, but that is not game breaking.
has the Rescue Ranger ever changed the course of a match?
Yes.
Like, has it ever
Yeah.
upset who would win a match?
Yes.
Are you single deading the sticky or the sentry gun?
No, like he
Oh,
can just
really?
fucking take it away. Like I'm not fucking stupid. I played that one for fucking
So if
since
he
I
picks
started
up the
2015.
sentry and he has,
They-
what is he gonna
Yeah,
do?
he can rotate to the fucking other side of the spawn and
So
place
you
down
can
again.
shoot him when he's mini crit like marked.
Yeah,
when he
inside the
picks it up.
spawn. Yeah, great.
Okay,
Behind a wall.
and then he resets
That's
the sentry, so
fantastic.
he's completely out of the fight for 10 seconds. So what are you doing during that time?
Have you ever been in a process last spawn, Benny?
You know what?
In like process last
Yes,
spawn.
I've been in there.
The rotation from one door to the other takes like 3 seconds.
Hmm
Wait a minute.
And then you set up the sentry and it's building, so
Wait,
it's not
hold
doing
on, hold on.
anything.
Yeah, while it's
Also,
building,
you're
it's
peeking that door
regenerating health.
with mini crit.
Wait,
But you're
you
peeking the door while marked for death, so it's extremely risky to pick up your sentry whatsoever, first of all. But and the time
Still
it takes
better
to
than dying
reset it up.
instantly.
Yeah, but it's also better to just switch off the class, so it honestly comes into play almost 0% of the
What's the
time.
difference between having a NG hide and spawn with a sentry than having a demo hide and spawn with stickies on the point?
You can shoot a six.
Well, the stickies won't constantly shoot at you as you walk at the stickies.
Yeah, but if you walk on them.
Yes.
No.
Okay, you're not walking
The
into a
concept-
fucking sentry gun.
The concept's the same. Like the point of hiding
No,
the
it's
spawn
not.
is to buy. No. Listen to me first.
You can shoot a rocket at the sticks and they go fine.
Is you buy time for your team. That's why you hide and spawn, so you don't die, and you can use something to buy time for your team. That's why people use the sentry gun. That's why you hide and spawn with stickies on the point.
All right, so first of all, don't hide and spawn stickies at one point. It's usually a very dumb idea. But outside of that, so if you have a scout who decides off-class to engineer, he get on process loss, for example, on the left side, right next to a point, he decides to put the sentry gun. Now he's sitting inside a spawn inside a shutter. He's constantly shooting his Rescue Ranger bolts at the sentry gun. Now the sentry gun is down. He gets to go back to scout immediately, and he's immediately ready to fight. A demo man puts stickies onto the point. The demo man does literally nothing except shoot pipes that are very unlikely to hit. 6 other members of the enemy team. It's like it's not the same exact situation.
There's a million ways that things could go wrong in TF2, but the Rescue Ranger doesn't like necessarily make that worse. You could destroy a sentry just as easily with stickies. Like it doesn't actually change anything about the sentry surviving 90% of the time.
I agree with that. It's pretty much just the fact that you can heal it from a far distance. That's it. That you can put it in a corner and make it more difficult.
Yeah, remember, guys, it's not
That's
just
all it
stickies.
I would say
there's
it's easier
rockets,
to
there's
destroy a
rockets.
sentry that's closer to you than far away, in my opinion.
It is, to be honest, because the ground that you have to take to get to the sentry gun, it's a lot less and easier, or it makes it harder to kill. There's not only that, there's not just stickies, but rockets too, boys. Remember that weapon? Wow, rockets. They do
Actual
damage to
placements. Okay, if you want to get into specifics here, actual placements. Sunshine last, like in the middle.
Yeah. See, that
then-
depends too. Like that
Okay,
depends.
But if you put the sentry on the right side, okay, from the pushing perspective, you put it on the right side, and you push from the right. You're already there, like by the middle of the push, and you can kill the sentry with pretty easily. If you put it behind the corner, behind the point, by the time you get to that same exact position, by the time you're already committed in the push, it's the same distance away from you. Like 90% of the time, those places are like almost the same distances where they are relevant to the damage being dealt to the gun.
All right, boys, let's have a more productive discussion other than the Rescue Ranger. How about that?
Agreed, because
Does it downrange deserve a
84%, I think it was.
Because right now
said
this is
that
Donald.
it should
This
be
is
balanced.
like the presidential debate that happened
No,
a couple months ago.
it's just still unclear how decisions are being made. Like, is it a vote or is it like the feel of the room, or like what's going on? How are these decisions actually being made?
The Slid said it was up to the admins.
So the admins are voting. Is that what's happening?
Well, it's up to them how they run their leagues.
And like UGC has 2 admins, ESCA only has 1. So like, how are we making this
No.
fair
No,
situation?
like every admin is in control of their league. So
I mean-
try has to make the ESCA whitelist according to the ESCA's rules.
Okay.
I mean, this discussion is just apparently ideas to give them.
So ultimately, we should be hearing out the admins and trying to sway them.
Good point.
I'm just trying to get a
What do you
feel of
think?
what people think.
Get it? Trying? Ha ha.
I mean, I agree with Try. I think it's good to get an idea of how people think, but
Okay.
ultimately
So
make the call.
I think like the Rescue Ranger part is obviously controversial, but I agree with Slyn. Like if there's things that everyone can agree on, then we should start focusing on those right now. Like things to unban if there's anything. Looking at
Yeah,
the
I'm putting together a
list,
list.
I think the first one to ask about would be the Locos Bar.
Well,
Right, and because they
the
fixed
main
glitch.
point, yeah, it was the glitch. Now it's fixed. I don't think there should be a reason not to unban it.
Wait, what was the glitch about it? I forgot.
You
like,
would keep your
keep it permanent,
health if you
health.
switched classes or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, eat a chocolate and a spawn and switch classes. You have like 180 health and scout on this one.
Yeah, but I stayed as a buff, not as like actual permanent health. In case someone confused.
There's no reason to ban that.
Yeah, it should be unbanned.
Unban it.
Cool, there's one.
Great.
All right, what about the Pomson 6000?
OP.
No, people don't. Everyone still thinks it works like it did on release. It no longer penetrates targets.
Yeah, no, I'm
and
just
the
joking.
Uber drain is based on how far away you are. I believe across Badlands, like last, if you're in your spawn shedder, it'll drain like 1 or 2% Uber on someone. So the
shows
chance
like
of it.
0 at the
The other
highest.
thing to consider with this is that if the Pomson's allowed and the Rescue Ranger is allowed, it would, like one or the other would probably be run. But if you ban Rescue Ranger, everyone's going to run Pomson. It would create a little bit of a choice for the engineers, I think, map choice maybe, or playstyle choice. Which could
Do you
ease
think
a lot of
anyone
your-
would run it over the Pomson over the Rescue Ranger though?
I think some people would, yes.
I haven't seen
No,
that much.
no one would.
I would not
No one
run
who's
the
trying
Thompson
to-
over the Rescue Ranger. There's no way.
So
There's
no
no
one's
point.
opposed to the Pomson then, huh?
Well, I'd be okay with unbanning it, but I haven't seen it that much.
I thought the weapon was going to be game breaking either.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, we
for,
could always unban
for
it
it
and
to
reban
have
it 2
any
days later.
impact, you would have to have an NG basically within the range that you do like an 80 damage scattergun shot.
Yeah, and
and you'd have to shoot through however many people are next to the med and hit the med, and then your team.
Does that weapon penetrate people?
No.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Only the Righteous Bison does. You guys want to talk about that weapon?
Wait,
That weapon,
It's allowed right now.
It's been allowed for a very long time.
I did not even know that.
Maybe we ran it. Oh wait, you weren't here with Goldfish. We ran it. We
Yeah.
have Goldfish.
Oh well, that's why, because Goldfish ran it.
Let's look at the Darwin's Danger Shield.
No.
Oh wait, so are we
unban it.
unbanning?
Don't
we're
allow
unbanning
that
bombs?
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
weapon
okay.
is that weapon is the same concept as the booties. Basically, like it can be countered, but like it makes it 10 times easier if the other sniper runs it as well. That is before the booties were like nerfed. Like basically, if one sniper runs it, the other one basically has to, unless he's like hacking, like Corsa.
So, what about Solemn Vow?
What does that
My
weapon do
opinion-
again?
That's
Yeah,
sad.
you can
Allows
unban that.
medic to see enemy health and Uber percentages.
It's not like game
but
breaking,
you
but
lose.
I don't. Yeah.
I
Wait,
just don't think that's even useful. Like,
wait, it doesn't
It's-
actually. Okay, you lose firing speed too. That's all.
it kind of messes
you
with
have
the way
to
the
pull
game.
out to see you?
I don't see how it messes with the game because like I know like I think Uber tracking is already an easy mechanic and that's like literally the best thing about it. And in a trade of the Saw value, you lose the Uber Saw.
Yeah, like the
Uber
Uber
Saw's
Saw
like
is literally the
great
best.
upgrade. You might you can unban it, but no one will run it.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
I'm still gonna run the Uber Saw, but like
Yeah, same.
But you see, this is where we need like more weapons in the game because why is not like the Uber Saw isn't even like the stock weapon, you know what I'm saying? So like, how is everyone else that plays pubs and stuff that doesn't know about competitive like know about that shit, you know?
Like honestly, if
'Cause,
you
like a lot of
just
people still
unban
run
it
the
or
bone
not,
saw
it
and
doesn't matter.
stuff.
No one's gonna run
Well,
it.
oh yeah. I know that, but I'm just saying that like this is why like our game needs more fucking weapons because like
So-
people run one weapon only.
Have we agreed on 3 items then?
Wait,
Delica,
no,
Spar,
no.
Thompson, and
I don't know if
Solemn
the
Vow?
Solemn Vow is like I don't know if I'm okay with Solemn Vow.
Can you see the health without having it pulled out, or do you have to have it pulled out to see health?
You
I
don't
think
need
you
it
can
pulled out.
passive.
Passive.
like regardless.
Passive.
it's passive.
It's
You
passive.
just see enemy health all the time, which I think messes with or kind of like decreases some skill aspect of the game.
Yeah,
agree
but
with that.
if you run it, then you're just downgrading yourself.
But
Yeah,
that's kind of true.
Because you
I still don't
everybody
like
idea of
it,
weapon.
though. Like that's a weapon where, okay, some people are saying they might not run it, but how many times do you actually use your Uber Saw unless you're like Nursey? Like most medics
A
don't
lot more
use
than you
their.
think.
No,
I mean,
like,
some
I
people
believe
don't.
if you
most
unbanned
medics-
it, most medics would use it.
I'm
and
not
then
sure that
I
most
would
medics.
I mean,
like,
values of
yeah.
everyone.
Do you think it would completely change the way the game is played?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
In my
I think so.
opinion,
Medics would take a
kind
more
of.
active role. That could be considered more skill based.
I have a
don't know.
plan. Why don't we unban it and see what happens, and then ban it
Mm.
again if it doesn't
I
work?
kind of see because
I would
I'm not
agree
that
with that.
okay with.
Did you say that it could see Ubercharge?
Overcharge
Yeah.
and health.
But your
So you
medic
can
would
see
have
the
to have
opposite.
line of sight of the enemy medic, which has its own risks.
To me, that just
associated
seems
with it.
like a reduction in skill. Like the other medic no longer has to like watch the Ubers and see what percentage they're on and calculate any of
I
that.
mean,
Well, it's
just
not
like a
often,
spy can see it. There's plenty of risk associated with running a spy.
Right, but if
and
you're
checking,
if you're like saying like every other person, sure, but like in like the top levels, everyone knows what the percentage is all the time anyway. Like it's not.
That's not true.
Oh, it is. Come on.
There are definitely
think-
times where people aero builds and without knowing, or just build in general, and they're off by 10%, and that's
but
round.
even then,
That's
like
round
your
making.
medic would have to be peeking forward to spot
Yeah.
the other
I
enemy
think
medic.
I think if a team thought they had an advantage, it could make it a lot easier to push because you could go in, pop your Uber, see how much they have. If they almost have it, you can get out. If they don't have it, you can just carry on. It makes it
But
easier to tell.
what about the times like on mid fights
Right.
where a medic has like 90%, another medic has 70%, and they don't know? And it's a mid fight, you can see them across the map because it's, for example, it's process. You can see the medic like most of the
Yeah,
time.
that's one situation, but
That's
like
most maps though, and that's a mid fight that occurs very often.
Like I said, just try it. Like you just theorizing here. We don't know what it's going to do without trying it.
Yeah.
like the process here is to unban stuff. Like you might as well. I agree with Hilda. Just give it a try, see if it breaks the game.
Which I doubt it will. But
Well, I
if
don't
it's
think it
really
breaks the
bad-
game. I just think it's kind of lame.
It
It's
changes
just a
the way-
reduction in
much better
skill, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna change the lower levels where people should be learning to track Ubers.
Is
Instead, they
that
can just use
is
this
a
weapon.
reduction in skill for medic, like the Calmanger's reduction in skill for soldier?
Yeah, it's
It
kind of.
is.
just fucking dumb.
It is going to change advantage pushes. I really do think.
But it changes like the whole team dynamic, kind of.
Are you guys opposed to unbanning something so that it gets used, so that we can actually have like
I don't know if I want
experience?
like
I think it's
I want
worth
to test
trying.
it before it gets used in the whole season.
Well,
Maybe.
But does
I
it
mean,
fit the
if
criteria?
you remember what we did with the base jumper and atomizer, those were legalized, and then we actually played them and we adjusted. I think that
Yeah, but
this
those were like
process is
you could
flexible enough.
immediately see those.
Well, that's kind of what we're looking for, right? If it's
yeah,
game breaking or whatever.
but I think this one's more subtle. Hold on, perfect.
In my opinion, the summon well would be more beneficial by like the health button rather than the overcharge button. Like you can,
Yeah, that would be the biggest thing because you can see who's weak.
you can like
does
focus fire
it-
a lot better and stuff. But it's not like it's game breaking. Like you're giving up Uber cell, which is like a fine side grade in my opinion. So like I think that it should like get unbanned and see how people use it and if it's actually more useful than Uber cell.
I feel like it would be more useful in like lower divisions because in high divisions, like everyone knows what the fuck kind of damage they're doing, so they know the HP of the enemy team anyways, and clean
But you
up
can
based
just
off of
fake.
that.
You can just fake your health and push anyway. There's so many times where people just fake their health to push or to push an enemy out of a mid.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
I mean, I agree that's a reduction in skill, but I also think that like TF2 is a really hard game to coordinate in like pubs.
I just
or
think this
pug
one's more subtle,
situations.
so you won't immediately see how broken it is, like the base jumper.
I think it should be unbanned just to see what will happen. I think most people.
In my
agree.
opinion, I don't think it's going to change anything.
Let's table it and see what the other unlocks that we unban are. How about that? Let's leave it to the end of the discussion. Let's look at the short circuit. Anyone care?
First circuit would be like Rescue Ranger, except a lot
Oh,
worse.
okay. No, short circuit is complete AIDS.
Yeah, short circuit.
That shit is like the reason why HL is HL.
So they don't.
Highlander too, actually.
Oh, they banned that shit in Highlander?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. God bless.
Short circuit is like a worse version of Rescue
Okay,
Ranger.
yeah. That's
okay.
that is.
Just, that's fine. Don't.
Next weapon, boys. Next weapon.
What about the Wrangler? Are we cool with the Wrangler?
Oh god. Oh god.
Okay, cool. I'm bringing it up.
Next
All
weapon. Next weapon.
Buffalo
next
steak
weapon.
sandwich. Anyone care?
It's like a dirty
Next weapon.
word.
Dude, I was trying to.
I
say
think
something.
that one should remain
It
banned.
increases the
hungry.
damage that the heavy takes by 25%, but he gets mini crits when he eats it.
He gets move speed.
And he also can
Yeah,
throw
it's
it as
the-
a health pack, I believe.
The
Wait,
move
what?
speed
What?
is the big thing.
The
The
Buffalo
move
steak.
speed is the fastest of all heavy items.
So if you
I
have
think until we get a heavy rework, that all movement items for heavy are kind of, except I guess the eviction notice is allowed. I don't know. I guess if you can argue for the eviction notice, you could probably argue for that one.
Arcane mini crits is a bit too much.
It's only on melee weapons.
Yeah,
Well, you
it's
have
on
to have your
melee.
melee
It's
on.
basically just you eat it and run to mid, and then you're there as fast as like your pocket. So you can't really have that unbanned in the eviction notice. Or there's just going to be heavies to mid on every map that it's half decent on.
That would be so fun.
I've seen the stake being used in Highlander over the Ghost of Brennan originally, actually, because you can still have like other melee, and you can actually like roll out fast to mid. And in sixes, it would be very unfun to like have a heavy as fast as a medic to mid.
Oh yeah, like
American.
when they allowed a lot of unlocks in ETF to well, like heavy to mid was like the meta. Like Gully Wash, you would run a heavy to mid, and it was just awful. Like no one enjoyed doing it, and to allow that to happen again, and I just think it would just be really awful. The mids would just be not fun.
Okay. What
Do you
about
think
Fist of
that-
Steel?
think that
Aren't they
could be
nerfed?
allowed.
Aren't they completely nerfed now? Like they don't decrease nearly as much damage. You said.
Yeah, but you can still like have a heavy like tank. I think the last time we had this is that the main problem was that heavy coming through a choke and tank 1 million damage.
But is that the same now? That they've nerfed
Yeah,
it?
yeah, it's the same thing. I don't think they really
Oh,
changed it that much recently.
I'll leave it.
They
back.
haven't
It
changed
hasn't
it since
recently
then.
been changed. It has a slow draw speed, and you take extra damage from melee, but you still resist 40% of damage.
I think you should leave that ban.
The main concept of that will be just like you sit with your heavy near spawner and just let him sponge all the damage and then switch off.
Tank an enemy Uber into you.
What about the?
We're making some
high five
progress.
taunt? What about the high five taunt?
Oh yeah,
we should allow that.
Yeah,
Because
taunts. Remember that?
All taunts that allowed you to stay in third person as long
Indefinite
as you
taunt.
wished, people thought
Yo,
seeing
guys,
around the
guys,
walls was too
I'm
annoying.
pretty sure all the taunts were banned because of the guitar one. That's why, right?
That was for UGC, I think.
Oh.
Guitar one is allowed. It's the indefinite taunts that allow you to
Yeah,
peer
like
around.
high five and the dance
You could
ones
like
or
sit
whatever.
at Gullywash last and peek around into river without having to use your body.
Well, the conga was banned because you could walk and spawn, wasn't it?
Oh yeah,
That's another reason, but
I don't know. We'll just
yeah.
keep all the existing taunts banned. I don't think anyone cares.
Well, I'm pretty sure that there can be like a plugin maybe made that made like all the taunts in first person, so you can see around corners, and they'll be like, you could.
I think we
like,
should rely on plugins like that too much.
The problem with plugins is that we have to pass about ESCA, and that's a big pain in the butt.
Stay away from plugins for sure.
I'm pretty sure no one really cares about taunts.
Then send it to Valve. Let's like give us a command that like forces all the taunts to be
It
first
should
person.
be.
Yeah.
It
There you
should be
go.
suggested for sure. What about the quick fix, boys?
I don't know. Like, I love it, but I don't think it's. I think it should stay banned just because of the fact, like, when it was allowed. I mean, I don't know if they've nerfed it, but I just
It
remember
has been nerfed,
vividly.
yes.
I do
It's been
remember
nerfed
vividly
in
watching.
two subtle ways, if you want me to explain.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, the two nerfs were, the subtle one was the movement speed of the Medigun when healing scouts. That's now on all Mediguns, so it's not a quick
Yeah.
fix only thing. And also the healing rate, or the build rate, sorry, was reduced down to only a 10% bonus instead of 25%. So you won't necessarily get it that much faster than all the other beams.
Yeah, in my opinion, it's the worst minigun of all four now.
Yeah, I don't think there's a reason
Like,
for it to be banned.
I love it, but I don't think it shouldn't be in competitive. But I love running it in, like, when I'm
Why
messing
shouldn't
around.
it be in competitive?
I think it can be some interesting like last holds or mid rollouts with the quick fix.
There's also a 50% like less overheal, so I feel like there's no reason for it to be banned.
Yep.
Okay. Any
So
other
it's
low-hanging fruit you
by
guys
the way,
see?
it's just come to my attention that there's a command in game for TF_taunt_ first person. I'm not sure if there's a way to enforce that command always being on. I think it's a client side command.
It's a client side. Yeah. They added that with the virtual reality command.
Yeah, so if you could force that on, then you could unban taunts, but it's not really that important. I'm just mentioning it.
I don't know if you can force it on a client side.
All right.
Can we look at the scout unlocks and you guys tell me if any of those are unbannable?
Wait, so I don't know if the quick fix.
I don't think the
like,
quick fix
people-
should be unbanned.
You going back to quick fix? Okay.
No.
Everyone thinks the quick fix should be unbanned, so I still think it should be tested because like
Definitely
people have really
tested.
short memories. About, like,
I just
it was,
have
like,
vivid.
really-
Yeah, like I know what you mean. Like those vivid memories of fucking watching that ESEA LAN when it was just like quick
Hey,
fixing crits.
It sounds like
Yeah.
you're not willing to commit to things that are into your league. So what if we did something like we can always have like an admin only meeting right before season starts, and then we could
Yeah,
just
I don't know.
review.
I just maybe
Can we
quick
unban
fix
it
is
temporarily?
like bad now, but I just I'm not sure how I feel about it.
It doesn't auto build faster anymore, does it? You
No,
have
it still does. It still
It still
builds at
builds
max
at
rate.
max rate, but
10%
it's only 10% faster.
I feel like the only time something like that would really come into like any annoying play would be on a mid fight. But again, on a mid fight at the same time, they're not completely buffed because one gives you 50% of the
So
way.
it should build slower than crits now, actually.
It's because of the minus 10%. It's both slower than crits, but you just gotta remember it's always constantly building at max rate.
Yeah, so you just
You
have
could
to
do
build
like a demo man rollout to mid on process with a medic there.
You could, but
You could, but no one would.
yeah.
We definitely would.
I mean, those
I know
kinds of
you would.
strats, like they're not. I feel like with the way that the quick fix has been nerfed, they wouldn't be as overpowered because now the other medic, if he's running any other beam, can still catch up to mid fairly quickly, and he'll have the heals and he'll get Uber at a relatively same.
I wanna
Well,
start progressing through the unlocks a little bit quicker. So
I just
Ty,
want
if
to
you
say
hit
one
the
last thing
pushing
about the
back on
quick
it.
fix. Like, well, the thing that made it annoying in competitive was like it's kind of like a safety net for your med. Like you can just get jumped out when everyone comes at you. So
Yeah,
you
but
could-
that's not like super. I thought the worst thing was just heavies were getting super tanked. I thought that was the most annoying thing.
Are we banning weapons for being annoying again?
That's why it was banned. I
I'm
thought.
just saying, like, don't just like say, okay, we're unbanning it. Like, you should probably test it again just to
Well,
make
like,
sure.
yeah, but remember what we did? Like, what we were just talking about. Like, if people play with it, it turns out to be super annoying, then they could probably just ban it before the season started.
Completely honest, like
because
the
it
only
changed
way
the
we
game
can
too
get people to
much.
test something, the only way we've ever gotten anyone to seriously test something at a high level is to just unban it. So,
Yeah, I agree.
like as you saw with the last global whitelist, we were willing to reban something within 2 days. I think we have a really good response time. Let's just like unless try you have serious pushback, we should just unban it.
All right then.
Yeah,
I agree.
Okay.
So what?
So
that
like
meant quick
I have a soft
move
cap
in
in
Solemn
10
Bell?
minutes, and we haven't even talked about unbans. So I would like to move through things a little bit
What?
quicker. So
Yeah,
if
we
you guys
have.
have any other
a couple
weapons,
things.
We already agreed on like 3 of them.
on three of the bans. Sorry, not unbans. Bans.
Oh, new bands.
There's still other
New
scout
bans.
items we haven't talked about.
Well, yeah, but I think
Exactly. So
okay,
I would like
so
to keep it moving,
Atomizer,
that's all I'm saying.
no. Sandman,
Absolutely not.
in my opinion, no. But
Sandman, no.
I could
Please.
see the argument for
Sandman would be so
unbanning.
fun. If you
Why
were playing-
not Sandman? If you have Natasha already.
Yeah, I don't think it's broken.
Well,
that
not
your
being able to
argument for
shoot
everything?
slightly more annoying than slowing down.
No.
It would be so fun if
I
you were
think the
playing
Sandman
Scout.
should be
Just to
unbanned.
use it.
Did we talk about Soda Popper?
Soda
think
Pop is
so.
the only other one that I think could have an argument for unbanning because I don't
Yeah.
think it's like.
I don't
as
think you
strong as
guys
people
played
think.
Highlander enough to.
It was nerfed since then.
I
Yeah,
know
I
it was.
mean-
But you can still. The part that was annoying was the jumping part, not the actual glitch. So basically,
Yeah,
that's
but
not
the
even what I'm
jumping
talking
part was
about.
nerfed. Like
That's
you have
not
to
even
do
what I'm talking
damage.
about.
You have to
It
do
was
damage.
nerfed that now you have
DPS.
to do damage to build the meter instead of just running. So the fact that you would have to probably play differently to build that damage might make it less appealing than the scatter gun.
wait, it
How much
was.
damage is it?
It's still 5 jumps, right?
Yeah.
Because that was
Yeah.
the only part in like high level play that made it.
No, I think
kind of
it was
annoying to play against.
no. Like,
Not
you only-
annoying, but
You only played it against Ibby, and Ibby was annoying because he would just get to like a mid fight. He's already jumping. Like you have to do like, I don't know how much damage you have to do, but you have to do damage now in order to get your jumps. And I don't know if that makes it any better. I don't want it, but I can't really argue against it since of the damage thing.
I think it's another one that should be actually tested.
It takes
'Cause-
350 damage to build a Soda Popper height.
350? Okay.
Yeah, people say like Soda Popper does more DPS than Scatter, but like that's only in like really ideal situations, not really
Yeah,
realistic.
like you can't really deny a Soda when you have 2 shots.
Just theorizing here. We don't know what it's going to do.
I think in the spirit of unbanning weapons and trying them out, like we agreed on quick fix. I think we should just like unban the Soda Popper and see how that goes. Because
Yeah,
I don't
I'm fine
think, in
with
my
Soda
opinion, it's
Popper
that game breaking.
I
being
agree.
unbanned.
But if it's too bad, then we can still make changes.
Does anyone have an argument for the reserve shooter as a like an alternative to gunboats?
Well, it's a definite upgrade to
It's
every
either a
pyro
buff to
skill.
pyro or like a
huge
side
buff to
grade in
pyro.
gunboats.
I don't think it's a side grade.
You think
Yeah,
if
I
reserve
think-
shooter was unbanned, then every soldier would run it?
I think if
so.
reserve shooter was unbanned, like you're talking about for a soldier, right? Or if reserve shooter was
Yeah.
unbanned, I think
Soldier
a
and
pyro
pyro.
to mid would be things people actually would do because a soldier would not want to jump into that.
Yeah, and
It's
you think like
basically a free
pocket
damage.
soldiers
Like
would just run to mid and just chill?
having damage for free in this game is.
I think it kind of breaks the game. So, but I don't know for sure. In my opinion, it shouldn't be
You-
unbanned.
It's 3 shots, right?
Mhm.
For
Has the weapon
And
changed?
you get mini crits, which is triple damage.
Has it changed at all?
No,
the weapon?
1.5 damage, right?
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's going to
1.35
change.
and no
1.5.
damage for.
Don't see why you should unban it if it hasn't changed.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
leave
then
it
again, I really don't care if it's used or not. It makes such a tiny difference anyway. Just one of those things.
Yeah, so no. So the scout weapons, I don't think anyone wants like bonk, critical.
No, no.
Bonk can be interesting, but I don't know how people would react to it. Like I was thinking the other day, like what would bonk do to like?
Well, when it
uh,
was allowed in
competitive
ETF12, they used to use strats where they would run a scout bonk and block an entrance and then bomb a
Oh
soldier
yeah, that
behind
can
them.
be annoying.
Good times. Good times.
And
Yeah,
that
it
was
was
in
actually
2010.
buffed since it's been banned. They lengthened the invulnerability, so it
You just
allows for a
constantly have
little
a
bit.
scout behind. I don't
Yeah,
think it should be unbanned.
that's what
Yeah,
would happen.
It gives you a lot of options to just go behind for free and get out for free. Also,
With zero skill involved as well.
Yeah,
Like
I
it's
think that if it punished you after the cooldown, like after you're invulnerable, like to a high degree, it might be interesting.
If you had
but
mini
it
crits or
doesn't. Like it
something,
used to
but-
slow you. Yeah, I think if Bonk like marked you for death and like Criticola made you like super slow, then it would be fine. After they've
Alright, so
lowered
no.
the duration too, but I think right now they're game breaking.
Let's move
Leave that band.
to guillotine and milk, which.
I think.
Well, okay,
both.
I think they're
Both,
separate.
leave them both.
Yeah, let's go one at a time.
Guillotine, I don't think it's OP, but
I don't.
It's
You
fair
can
game.
just stand in a choke and spam like
It's
80
like
damage. through.
Doesn't it do mini crits based on damage distance?
That's like super inconsistent. Like I don't think I've ever gotten a mini crit.
I've gotten a mini crit before, back on like Lakeside. It's
quite generous hitbox as well.
Okay,
But,
well,
like-
there is a glitch. That
Yeah,
is
with
find
the
guillotine.
Natasha.
Yeah, with the Natasha. If you like guillotine a Natasha.
If the weapon's glitched, it should be banned.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what it is.
I don't know if it's a glitch because it honestly just says in the description that it crits stunned players, and Natasha pretty much.
I'm not sure if it. I actually don't think it's a glitch. It also works with the air blast. If you air blast in Cleaver,
Yeah.
then it's similar.
it's just a
But
dumb
that's-
weapon.
That's
You
the
stand
annoying
like
mechanic of it.
you could just throw it through flank, and then as soon as you hit someone, that's it. Like then you
Yeah.
run in and try and trade and get behind, and like they've taken 50 damage and they're bleeding, and it's not like their medic's just sitting next to them because it's like they're flank players.
It's not very skillful to just hold down a button on the flank and then, like once you hit someone. I think like
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's a 4-second recharge that you get like 50 damage. I don't even know. Like I think it's 40 damage initially, then plus bleed, and then it's unlimited. Like that's almost like a Calmanger thing. I wouldn't give that something like
And
that to a
there's
scout.
It's not even like you lose anything by throwing it because you
Yeah.
still have 6 shots in your
Like,
primary.
the only thing you'll lose is a pistol with that weapon, and that's not really valuable. And plus a random chance to mini crit if it's actually inconsistent. Like I wouldn't want.
Can you imagine how obnoxious like watching a flank would be with 2 scouts spamming like
leave it
guillotines
banned.
on cooldown?
Let's leave it banned. Don't think we shouldn't ban that weapon.
Yeah.
Don't know. I'm on the fence. Like I don't.
Of course
know
you
enough
are,
about
Hildur.
it. I don't know enough about it to see.
I do.
What difference it makes.
Wasn't it also allowed during the atomizer time, or was it not?
No, it was not.
No.
No? Okay.
It was like one of those things we decided last second before we made the first whitelist, I think.
Alright, is there any others?
There was bad milk, but I don't think that should be allowed. It's very powerful.
Yeah, but oh, did we talk about? Oh, we're talking about unbanning stuff still,
Unbanning,
right? Or
yeah.
all
Yeah,
right.
I think that was pretty much everything, unless disciplinary actions. I don't think anyone.
I think disciplinary action gives the same side effect as the Vita Saw does. If one soldier runs it, then the other one has to run it. And apparently people
it
don't
makes
like
heavy
that
to mid
idea.
viable, and it makes
Yeah.
bombs like just insane.
Okay. So to recap, we agreed on Delocos Bar, Thompson, Solemn Vow, and
Yeah.
Soda
Yep.
Popper.
Yeah, you
And then
Soda
Quick
Popper.
Fix was like considered.
So Soda Popper and Solemn Vow are in the. If it turns out to be annoying, people are going to consider banning it. I think Quick Fix was with those things too.
Yeah, definitely.
I just got back. What did you guys discuss?
Is there any reason to give Scout the ability to jump 5 times in the current state that the game is in?
Well, it could be one of those things that is available but will have no impact, is what I'm saying.
It's
like
no work,
the
man.
Soda Popper, yeah, if you have to go out of your way to build it up and all that stuff, like how will that actually be beneficial in
Oh,
the
yeah,
long run?
didn't it get
That's the
nerfed?
question. It was changed.
you have to do
to
damage
build
to
up
get it
the
now.
hype meter instead of just running, which
think
could
that should
be enough
definitely
of
be
a
allowed
downside.
though, as like
Yeah, well, that's
yeah.
the premise here.
Yeah.
is that we're willing to
Yeah.
reconsider after testing.
So that just leaves what we want to ban possibly out of the current whitelist. Is that what we're talking about now, or are we done?
Yeah.
I think that's the rest of unbans, or yeah, things to unban.
So as far as I can tell, the three most controversial items are Rescue Ranger, Cow Mangler, and Girardi.
I think the Cow Mangler is fine. I think Girardi and Rescue Ranger have a pretty strong argument for being banned, but that's just my opinion, to be honest. It's what I guess you have to go with what the majority of people want.
I
on
think
that one.
Yeah,
I
I
already
don't see
think
them as game breaking, so I would be fine with keeping them legal.
Do they fit the criteria that you set out on why weapons should be banned? That's it.
I have a question. Would people run Vitasaw over Ubersaw or Saw and Bow?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the way the Vitasaw works, I'm not 100% on this, but I think the way the Vitasaw works is that even if you reach 21% Uber, you get to keep 20% from that.
I don't know. I just don't. I've never really
Oh
seen
yeah,
that.
I think there's a bug with it where you can respawn with the Vitasaw and then instantly switch to a different weapon. And
Yeah, during your respawn wave, you can switch a weapon
Oh,
and still
yeah.
retain 20%.
All right, then.
Yeah, that's.
Can
No,
you
thank you.
test that actually and confirm it, please?
Yeah, I know that. I know that respawn thing 100%. I don't know about the 21 to 20% thing.
So you die with what? Like Ubersaw, and then you change to Vitasaw, and then you keep it?
No, I don't. You don't keep it like that. That doesn't happen. But if you died with the Vita Saw and then you switch to Uber Saw, you keep the 20%. That happens.
I'm on the top.
Yeah, if you get, I just tested it in a local server. If you get to 20% Uber, you keep that. No
Yeah.
matter. So from 20 to 80, you keep 20%. And then beneath that, you keep however much you had.
Yeah, so that's. I don't think if the Vita Saw literally worked by 20% and it had a slight nerf to the weapon, I think it'd be worth unbanning. But the way it is right now, it's kind of, kind of like, yeah. If you're running, I feel like you're pretty much throwing range.
Well.
Yeah. Well, I'd be okay with. I'm more okay with Trotty than Rescue Ranger. I think. I'm kind of on the fence about.
I'm more
Rescue
okay
Ranger.
with Rescue Ranger than Girardi. I think Girardi is like. Is
I
really
don't think.
way too
I don't think
annoying.
it's very skillful either. Like
It's so good. Like if a soldier bombs you and it's off cooldown, at best the soldier can trade for you. Like that's
Yeah.
Like
Just think about
you're
maps like
never gonna
Violence
get
where you're all
Girardi
grouped up.
and get out.
Like
Yeah.
a sniper can just throw it over the top, and you all
And-
Girardi'd.
The one thing I don't feel like people mention enough of that mini crits don't suffer from fall off damage. So if you're mini critted, doesn't matter how far you are, a rocket's going to do the same damage as if you're like right next to it. And I don't think people really consider that with Girardi. That's like actually extremely annoying.
3 damage again, same as reserve.
Free
shooting.
damage for little to no risk in self.
No
which
skill
is
in using it either. There's nothing.
generally the sniper class, dude.
Like I honestly think like I mean there's no reason not to run it right now. Like if you I mean some people are adamant about not running it, but like 7 use it all the time against us, and it's quite devastating when we're in the hold, and it's not that skillful, and it's quite annoying. So I would like to see it banned.
Yeah, I like to see the Girardi banned as well.
Okay, so for someone who's tuned out for the last 5 minutes or so, what are you guys deciding to ban?
Girardi. Well, I mean,
Okay.
I think it should be banned. I don't know about the other people here, but
I agree.
I
Yeah,
think
it's mainly up to
it
you
should be
thoughts.
For
banned.
banning it or what?
I do not care.
Okay, we can ban
Ban
it.
Girardi. Yeah.
What were
And
the
then the
reasons
Rescue
for
Ranger is
banning
going to get
Girardi?
banned as well, right?
No one's saying anything about the Rescue Ranger yet, I think.
Okay.
I don't know. I'd say yes, but like I'm not as like strong. I don't really have a strong opinion about that as I do with the Girardi.
See, the
What were
Girardi
the
is
reasons for banning Girardi?
my reason for it was because mini crits don't suffer fall off damage, which is extremely aggravating because that's free damage for like to really no risk, and it's such a valuable secondary just because of that. And then what Sam said was, if a soldier bombs you, at best a soldier can get a trade with the sniper if something like that happens.
Mhm.
That's just theorizing. Like
It's
there's
not theorizing.
But my
true.
damage thing isn't theorizing. That's 100%. That's
Yeah,
going to
like,
happen.
it's
It
just
has
like
been played tested for a season. It's
but
not a
it's
theory.
theorizing.
I play and use it a lot, and it happens every single
Yeah,
time a soldier
every time
bombs
we-
me, they die.
every time we
Guaranteed.
play against 7, like on Viaducts, we
Yeah.
get a Girati thrown at us, and then we're just fucking destroyed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Isn't that because you blow?
Possibly.
He makes a very good argument.
But we'd blow less about the Girati.
Yeah, but that's not the fault of the item. That's your fault.
It is the fault of the item, though.
How?
God knows raises very good point.
Blobbing up and getting slashed by it. That's them using the weapon like it should be.
It's what? What? No, the soldier bombs you. You see him coming. You throw it at your feet, and then you try to hit the surf. If you hit the surf, you don't even die.
He's talking about like on specific, like on Viaducts or something, where
Oh.
you're all like plugged up.
Well,
I mean, the
there are
radius
certain
on it is fucking massive.
There's
Like-
certain holds on maps where it's like you can't really avoid it. Like on Badlands West, you can just throw that thing into lobby and splash like 4 people for free.
Yeah, it's free damage. I don't know what we are
So
discussing.
that
Do you guys
promotes.
not think that the risk of the sniper pushing up to throw that is?
He doesn't have to go that
can
close
throw
to
it.
throw it. It's a really
Far,
easy
your
throw.
sights right there. It's really
Aren't there
not,
walls
like,
in the game?
Well, what risk does the sniper have on Viaduct to throw it? None. Like you can just chuck it over the fucking top.
And that like on like on Snake Water too, like if you're like on on that far left, if you're pushing the last far left, a sniper doesn't have to be in a very dangerous spot just to throw draw ID onto like almost the whole combo in lobby. It's stuff like that. Like just I think there's a lot of situations like that. A sniper can just suddenly mini crit important classes for no risk for himself.
If you throw the Girati across the map, doesn't it take a few seconds to actually land so you can dodge it?
Yeah,
Wait,
but
1
if the
second.
snake water example, you can't really dodge that, or in Goya Wash, you can't really dodge it. Like it's almost instantaneous, and you have no time to
What's
react to
the
it.
snake water example?
Snake water is in that far left range. If someone's like anybody is caught swinging the right side, or any combos stuck holding in cheese, a sniper is sticking it for like 1 quick second and just Girati, like they're mini critted right there.
Wait, so why would you be holding in cheese, letting a sniper
Not
super
cheese, like
chuck like that?
not like holding cheese, but some classes will just stand there, like a medic, for example. Like usually medics don't do that, but there are some people who will hold in cheese, and
You
they
gotta
are
go
stuck.
super deep as a sniper to be able to.
You don't
chuck
have to
it.
go that deep. Like a normal sightline angle is in that concrete spot on the left side. Like yeah, you're easy to get spammed, but snipers do go there a
Like,
lot.
Gully Wash Choke is another one where they use it when you've
Goy
got like, a
Wash
stalemate
choke.
situation.
Goy Wash choke's a good one. Goy
Pro
Wash
says
last.
choke.
Goy Wash last.
Any
Throwing a
choke, honestly.
Girati over the launch pad area is also a really easy throw that no one can react to.
On
Like,
far
what-
right,
what-
on
what-
Snake, you can throw it in the lobby for basically free. If your demo has sticks on right, you can't get pushed or killed. It's practically impossible to die.
It's just like it just
the
feels like a
way the
weapon.
angle works. It's
Like,
like you just get free damage.
But does it promote skillful play? It doesn't.
No.
It's not skillful. Using it is just you just throw it.
Girati
You-
air shots.
I saw those dry air shot practices on Course's stream. That was pretty nice.
So if it doesn't promote
But
you, like
is that the point of
skillful-
this? Are you trying to promote skillful play? Because like
Yeah.
most of these items don't promote skillful play in any way. They're just like items that don't really matter.
I think it should just concern skillful play. Like if everything like Girati is not skillful play. Girati is 10% ability using your eyeballs. There's 39% reward if your soldier's doing more than maximum damage with normal spam. It's way too rewarding just for doing like nothing.
And it's
I'm
not a side
confused.
grade. It's just a straight upgrade on this. Like, why would the sniper not run that? It's like a you.
I mean, that's a valid point, but like,
Imagine if a buff banner was regenerating and you had a free banner every 30 seconds.
And you can keep throwing it. Like that's the main thing. If it was just a one-shot thing and it like took ages to reload or something, then I wouldn't be against banning it. But you can just sort of just go to a reset, get another Girati. In fact, you can even
Yeah.
stand at the top of Badlands and constantly throw Girati if you wanted to.
Yeah,
Just
but
say
who
you
does
should.
that? No, nobody does that shit.
but
it's not exploited
fact
in the
that
way
you
that
can-
you're saying it is.
The fact that you can do that is like a bad idea to allow that weapon in a game.
Yeah, but that's what resup cabinets do. They give you back everything.
I'm surprised. Like instead of like keep arguing about this, it still feels like everyone's on just wanting to ban it still.
No, the thing is, like, you see the same with Soda Popper that happened. It got nerfed, so you need to actually do something to get the hype boost. So, like, if they change the Girati, so, like, you need to get, like, 5 kills, not 5 kills, let's say you need to get, like, 3 kills to build up a Girati, then sure. But if you get it free every 30 seconds, it just doesn't make sense.
I just
Just
don't
get
see
free
teams
damage.
exploiting it as badly as like you're
It's
making
not
out
an
it can be, and it's
exploit.
been allowed for a
It's
season
not
as
an
well.
exploit. It's just a free damage you get every 30 seconds.
No, by exploit I mean actually like using it in the ways that you're saying that you can use it.
Yeah, but we're also talking about the ways they use it normally, which are also really like it's
Yeah.
just it's just
Normal scenarios, it's too good. Normal
Yeah.
scenarios is too good. Exploiting it just makes it legendary good. Like I don't want to be in a scenario like that. And Girardi is just annoying. It's just super annoying. And I don't think it
ban it because it's annoying.
It doesn't even add much to the sniper like at all. Like the rescue ranger, I can see because that's a pretty important thing for normal engineers. But Girardi is just super fucking annoying.
I don't know, Rescue Ranger seems pretty much the same. It's like you don't need very much skill to use it.
Oh, before we talk
And
about
you
the
get a
rescue
huge
ranger,
benefit out of it.
or before we
That's
talk about
why
rescue
we
ranger, I
picked
want
that.
to finish Girardi. Like I think everybody wants, like most people want Girardi banned.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really mind
don't.
if it gets banned, then it gets banned. It makes such a small difference.
There's definitely counters to it, and so like it's up to the majority vote for it. Like it depends on like I guess the level of play you're looking at, but I wouldn't say it's a game breaking. However, it's up to you guys really. I played demo, so I could give a shock less.
I don't think it's game breaking either.
Yeah, it's
I
definitely
don't
not.
think game breaking should be like the solid solid.
Yeah, but I don't think skill reducing either because it comes down to the actual player how they want to use the weapon and how
But
and
it's
to the other team
definitely
and how they
skill
want to.
reducing. Like no matter what, I think it's skill reducing because soldier is then made easier with spam damage because soldiers get no fall off damage because they're mini critted, so they take more damage plus no fall off comes from being mini critted from the Girardi.
It lasts a while as well. Like it doesn't go away like in a few seconds. Like it's enough time for someone to get in a position and do a huge amount of damage if you're caught.
How
on it.
many fights have you lost this season just through Girardi, Turbo?
Way too many.
I could tell you there's quite a lot.
Well, go on then.
How is that even possible?
How is that even possible? Well, we're holding Gullywash choke, and then Stark
Okay.
decides to throw Girardi at Tom, and then he just dies because Scout just.
Wait, how
my
close is he holding the choke? Is he right inside the choke, like eating the
Sounds like
Girardi
it's
on
just
purpose?
being
Yeah.
bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, you don't have to be right inside the choke. Like the sniper was in that elbow area next to the choke. He can throw it.
It's called playing positioning. Like you're not just gonna stand in front of the floor in front of choke, right?
Yeah,
like that makes no sense.
Put that aside just for a second. Doesn't that speed up the game if they're actually using that as a way of breaking the stalemate rather than an Uber?
If
Yeah,
anything, I
this-
think it should be allowed. There needs to be more testing done with it. There's no way.
There we go.
Hypothetical situations.
Oh no!
Like causing like people to just get steamrolled by a piss in a jar.
What he's trying to
I
say.
feel like you've
Yeah, go
never
ahead.
played against someone who's thrown a Girardi.
Yeah, I think
Like I have no
wait.
idea how you can have played against someone using the Girardi and then come to the conclusions that you're coming to.
I think you guys are being way too general. I don't know what situation you guys are in where you got Girardi and think, wow, these guys really outbrained me there. I'm really glad that happened.
Did anyone say that?
That's what people are trying to say. What Assassin just said. I don't think that's.
It's not. It's not like he's saying he.
said that at all.
Their argument
you
is
got
stop being
outplayed.
bad.
It's just that it's slightly poor positioning, and that's being exploited, and it's your fault.
Yeah, pretty much. That's all I'm trying to say. Like, there's literally a counter to everything in this game, and you just have to think about it.
Just unban everything then if there's a counter
Yeah,
to it.
like if you guys are like, if it's like
Follow
too
it
much
up.
of an issue, it can be banned. Like I don't care. I like I said, I mean demo. I could care less about like what gets banned in this game. My class is already shit as it is. So,
Why even hear that if you don't give a fuck about anything?
Because I just want demo to get a shotgun. That's it.
I like this guy. We should listen to him.
Yeah, I'll see you at line if you're coming. By the way.
I am.
All right, I'm gonna go. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get some water.
Oh no!
Right, so we got nowhere of that. Like, just leave it to the majority, I guess. You know my
Don't leave it
opinion
to the
about it.
majority. Leave it to the admins.
Yeah,
because
it's up to the admins.
Do whatever.
We've put our input in.
I don't know. It seems kind of like
if the counter to that argument is stop being bad, then I think that's a really weak argument.
Well, my thing was it seems to encourage breaking stalemates. Like it's just an extra way of doing it. But then again, lots of things are an extra way to
Yeah.
break stalemates.
That
I
is
mean,
pretty
my
counterintuitive.
policy with broken weapons is like if you really think that's broken, then break the game with it.
Yeah, that's
Like,
like
show
the
everyone
kind of the
else
point
what-
I've been making. That like you coming up with all these scenarios where like, oh, it can crush like in stalemates or like with even like slightly poor positioning. But most of the time that doesn't happen. If it's so powerful, then use it, exploit it to its full potential. No one does that.
I mean,
Why do
sitting
people
like
want stalemates?
isn't so Turbo's on the second best EU team right now, right? And he's telling you that it's retarded even against very good teams. It's still getting like it's still fucking people up like in chokes and stuff.
Wait,
That's
should
on.
be the second best? No, sorry, carry on.
Thanks for that, Hildreth.
So like, I don't, like you're saying like you're telling people to actually prove that it's exploitable or whatever, and then they're proving it by like
Did he prove
showing or telling you about examples
as long as it's
from the two
debatable and
best
telling you
teams in
like it's
Europe
not
playing.
really.
I can tell you more
I mean, you
examples.
can just ignore what he's saying, and
No,
it's debatable.
that's fair
I
enough. But
guess.
I don't think it's like as often like frequently used like that as he's saying. Like,
It
was
really
this
is,
like
fellas.
in one official or something?
No, there's like in every PCW we play against them, we have one. There's always a time when the Jiraiya is used against us and fucks us. Like in Viaduct especially, Viaduct is like the one map I would say that Jiraiya has the most effects on, because you can just hail that thing over the. You don't even have to be seen, and because of the way you play Viaduct, maybe the med doesn't get splashed, but like it's a very good chance that 2 or 3 people are going to get caught in the Jiraiya. And that's not like being bad or having position. That's just the way you play Viaduct. And you're telling me that you should allow a weapon that can be thrown without even seeing them, splash multiple people, and then enable a soldier to jump in and kill them with very little effort? I think it's absolutely retarded to allow that weapon.
Why don't you guys use it against Seven?
Well, we
Why
do.
don't we just ban it when it's fucking broken?
Okay, as I said before, the results really don't matter. If one team is better than another team, you can ban as many unlocks as you want. That one team will remain better than the other team because they're both always in the same scenario. That will not change the result.
Well, I mean, if you make sniper a better class and a team has a really good sniper and otherwise is weak, like that's no longer true then.
I think the most interesting
Like, I
argument
don't
that's been
even-
brought up is about breaking stalemates. If breaking stalemates is something that you guys consider to be important, then things like Bonk and Girardi should be given like serious thought.
I think
There are
I'm
other
in favor of
situations where Girardi's
ways that
used.
you
I
can
mean,
break stalemates that require like actual like skill to pull off.
I think sniper requires skill.
Yeah, but
Not
throwing
Girardi.
Girardi doesn't.
What about Mad Milk? I think that's a really good weapon.
I mean, it's the same as the Vitus.
Pocket conch.
Like if one scout is running it, then the other scout has to run it, or you're losing because the other team gets healed during fights.
That's the Girardi argument, though.
Not even close. The Mad Milk
Girardi
is
is a-
way better than Girardi.
Mad Milk is a pocket conch. Girardi is a pocket buff banner.
You can just unban it or ban it. It doesn't make a difference.
the thing
Just
about Girardi that
gonna
I don't
annoy
think has
some
really
people.
been like brought up yet is you can use it in like stalemates and hit a really good Girardi, but you can also, like, while you're holding last as sniper, you can just sit by the spawn, Girardi someone for free, and then switch off, and that player is basically a free kill, like on last.
That's what Turbo was arguing.
Well, maybe not because you do have
You can
teammates.
just switch off for free. Like there's
not
no
a huge-
there's no drawback to that.
Where's the there's literally no reason not to use a Jiraiya right now. Like if a
It's a
sniper isn't using
free
Jiraiya, it's
damage.
retarded. It's
But
free
that's
damage.
not a
It's
good
not
argument
skillful.
either. Then you shouldn't use the rocket launcher. There's no reason not to use it right
Right, I'll
now.
give you the
can
2
shoot
points.
people from
What the
spawn.
fuck did you just say? What?
These are my
That's-
arguments. It's free
Saying that
damage
argument
and
doesn't
it's
make
not
any sense.
skillful. That's my argument for it being banned.
It's not fun to play against. It's better than any other unlock in the sniper secondary.
And
And it
it's not
requires very
skillful.
little. Yes, and it's not
It
skillful.
hits the only like you guys are saying you should you're saying you should unban it because it's so good that it breaks stalemates. Like, what the fuck? I don't get like you're literally saying it crushes stalemates, so we should unban it.
Stalemates, like or
already
not,
unbanned,
like
so-
stalemates are going to be part of TF2 regardless. Like they're part of the game. Like removing stalemates is like removing like one of the biggest parts of
Then let's
TF2.
put Rescue Ranger in.
Like if you want to remove stalemates, like then you just have to get rid of Ubers because that's what's going to happen when the one
Yeah,
team has
pretty
Uber.
much.
I mean, I'm down for that. I don't mind.
I think the game would go to shit basically if that happened.
I don't think Turbo's like what his example on Gunny Wash was like. Oh yeah, it's fucking us every single time. Like that you're a choke. Because if you were getting fucked every single time, that's your fault.
No, I didn't mean
just never
to.
learn.
I didn't mean it to be sounded like it's like the one thing they do that fucks us. I was saying that I use the better example on Viaduct, so that really does fuck us all the time. And like the Gully Wash one, yeah, like that can miss, and or just get one pick and the stalemate's broken, but we'll normally just back off. Like we can see when we've been Jiraiya.
All right, so how about a situation like on process choke, where they just do Jiraiya with process choke? You can't really see the sniper. You just have to throw it over you, and then your demo man is suddenly Jiraiya or something like that. Like, what skill is involved there? And like, oh, the stalemate's broken. That's a good thing, but like, are you really glad that stalemate's broken? I don't know who would be happy in a situation like that.
You know what we need? Ultimates.
I think a demo man had a shotgun. It would really.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
Remove Ubers, put in ultimates, dude. That's the perfect solution to this game.
Isn't Jiraiya sort of like a sniper version of an ultimate, if you think about it? It's just
Yeah, and all
but you get it for free every 30 seconds.
Yeah, all he needs
Next
is
weapon.
all he needs is a voice line. Oi, isn't Jiraiya?
Next weapon.
Well, it does have a voice line, doesn't it?
Do you think if the demo man had an ultimate and a shotgun, he'd finally be able to fight against scouts?
I don't know. Demoman's ultimate would be laying all 8 stickies
Why
fire
are we-
there at once.
Can we
How
be
much
productive?
marijuana
Next
smoked
weapon.
today, Habib?
Is there like a formal vote that takes place after the discussion?
No, it's just the admins have to
Now I'm just gonna
decide.
take the. I'm taking a list of items, and then I'm just gonna give it to the. I'm gonna
Did you
post them
talk
thread
about
and
the
let
cow
you guys figure it
mangler?
out.
Thanks, Lynn.
Briefly, somebody just said
I think the cow
Calmangler.
mangler is the last one that's been controversial. I think.
Can we talk? I want to talk about the Machina.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll talk about the Machina then. Like,
I think the Machina is a straight upgrade of stock in really every single way. I know minus that 50 damage body shot probably seems like a lot, but compared to 173 collect damage, it's
Yeah, I think
really
Machina
annoying.
should be definitely argued to be banned.
I agree.
But then you
I don't
can't get
think so.
collateral and taunt.
The no scoping, like the fact that you can't no scope with it is so big when you're doing like 150 on a soldier that's jumping you.
Why not just scope in and just body shot him at that point?
Sorry, but I.
You like that, man?
I think you killed it. I mean, I play sniper. You don't. That's why. That's probably why you want to ban the Machina. That's retarded.
How's it retarded?
That's retarded to ban this
But you
weapon.
just-
It's
I
not
don't-
OP. I don't
I mean,
get it.
I kind of agree. I don't want to ban it either, but you got to make a better argument than it's retarded.
Because you want to ban a weapon that you think it's OP, which is not.
I would be
You
fine with it if
retarded.
it didn't do minus 173 and collat at the same time, but it does both. So you get to do more damage in more situations. Like the only bad side is the body shot, which only really matters if you manage to headshot a soldier or a demo man, and then at the same time you're the only person that has the ability to finish them off of like a quick little body shot, which you could still do with the Maki. This guy scope in again, which really isn't that hard.
Making it sound way easier than it is.
It is not that hard.
I don't think we should ban the Machina.
Neither do I.
Okay,
But,
so then you think
top
of being able to consistently like one shot most classes, or like a demo man who's slowly injured is gonna instantly die, or a scout completely buffed and he's just missing a slight amount of his buff, will instantly get one shot still.
I mean,
I
you
think
can make
most
any weapon
situations.
sound OP.
Well, but the thing is, I think the case that Nursey's trying to argue for is that in the standard usage of the item, the Machina will always outperform the sniper rifle, and the sniper rifle is already an extremely powerful weapon, I guess. Is that
Yep.
essentially
But
it?
stop
Like if
being
you're
a straight upgrade
sitting there,
isn't a reason to ban it.
I think this is like more damage, and then you got the collats on top of it for relatively no trade-off in reality is way too annoying.
I don't know, maybe because I've never played against a great sniper recently, but I've never noticed it really playing against it. I only like it because of the potential to meme.
Yeah, I think it's a straight upgrade to stock because of the increased damage and then the collat with it.
I mean, it clearly is, but it's not what we're discussing. Really.
You got to remember the collat is only when it's fully charged, so you only get that one shot. And like typically, when like if I'm using it, I just use that to get a med drop or like force with the potential of that. Like you only do get that one shot.
Do you think you should be rewarded for that? You think that adds more to your gameplay?
You
I don't think it adds more to my
Well, you risk your
gameplay.
life to go for like the
They get
hero
rid of
shot.
Not risking your life. You can risk your life with like any of the sniper rifles, but like if you're just sitting at, like if you're just sitting your spawn door and then you just pretty much this default sniper rifle. Doing what you do with this default sniper rifle, you get to do pretty much more damage and then potentially collat for really no trade-off. I think is way too annoying. Like it's just doing the same thing. It's better trade-offs. Like you get to do more damage and you collat. There's nothing you lose from switching to the Machina from the default sniper rifle. It doesn't add anything to sniper.
I would say
doesn't
that
matter.
Machina, Rescue Ranger, Girardi, all those items could probably be safely rebanned, and now that we have experience with them, we could wait until they are changed based on our feedback from using them, and that would be a fine
You're
approach.
rather hopeful, aren't you? You think that Valve's actually going to change anything?
Yep.
Better to stay optimistic than constantly think that people dev your game is shit.
Like I'm taking part in this like with the assumption that nothing's going to change. That like the items will remain the way they are, not.
Well, I just argued
that they
for
will be.
banning 3 items, so I don't know what you're arguing for then.
Well, I'm arguing the opposite, that this thing shouldn't be banned.
Okay. I've never heard anyone say that because they don't think Valve will make changes that everything should be unbanned. That's a new one.
I'm not saying everything should be unbanned, but in the cases that you're bringing up, I don't think all of these items need to be banned.
They don't necessarily need to, but it would be a safe thing to do. And because we've actually tested them, they could be banned and we could just wait for the changes based on our decision.
I don't know if anyone, like everyone else, sees it that way. I know I don't.
I mean, I'm for banning them, and I think they never should have been unbanned. And I think Valve's not going to change anything.
I think they'll get changed. I just want them gone now that everyone understands what's dumb about them.
Yeah, that's the whole point of the global whitelist, is to unban what we can and then reevaluate based on what we have learned from playing with them. Without actually testing anything, it fails. So we've tested Rescue Ranger, Girardi, and Machina, and if we think that those aren't working, then we can take them out. But we'll also be unbanning some other things, so it's constantly going to be, there's still something new coming out of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like people want to unban or ban Machina just because it's annoying in certain situations.
That's a certain situation. It's literally every situation that it's a normal stick would be annoying. So the 50 damage body shot, it's way better. Well, not way, but it's still definitely better.
I honestly don't see how you guys can say. I don't even use the Machina, just to introduce. I don't see how you guys can say that the Machina is more OP than all these other weapons that you guys are suggesting or are controversially not, like, shouldn't be banned. Because, like, the biggest reason, in my opinion, that Machina is dumb is in Sniper versus Sniper, where you literally have to be 185 or you just automatically should lose the fight. Sniper versus Sniper, that is. Because they can just body shot you before you see their head. But you guys are saying like the 173, like, okay, but the laser and the no scope are honestly way bigger than the 173 compared to 150. It's not very much, honestly. Especially in sixes where Demo isn't the prime player that's being healed. In Highlander, it matters because Demo's health is so important that. But Demo's health in sixes is not nearly as important, in my opinion. Exactly.
So if a demo man's health doesn't matter, so it's okay for the demo man to have less
Not
health.
nearly. Like Demo's like the prime class in Highlander. In sixes, it's like not.
All right,
prime
so
class
Scout is the prime class in sixes, and then the Scout has to be at 185, or he's gonna die in a one shot, just like a sniper would. Like the Scout's not constantly 185. He's missing just a little bit of a buff. He will die in one shot from the Machina.
I agree with that. The Scout, yeah.
And I think the Scouts, I think is what you mean, is the more premier class of sixes, and that would happen to a Scout. Scout's health will matter. I think every class in every situation will always matter, but I really think that Machina is just the sniper rifle, but better. And the sniper rifle is already really good, and then you just make it better.
Because I think you're not doing that much damage with non-scope shots, right?
Well, it depends, because if you're just sniping at last or like trying to get a pick, I think the Machina is better. But if you like get a pick and you're pushing with your team, like the lasers and the no scope thing are huge in my opinion. Like it
I like the
depends like how
no-scope
much you
thing's
play
big.
sniper. Depends on the situations where you play sniper. But yeah, I don't like it's really doesn't matter to me. Just my opinion on like what the benefits and stuff are in that weapon.
Well, you seem like you're siding more with the side that it shouldn't be banned, right?
I don't. I was just like saying like just because like that. So it's up to the admins just so they know like more information about it. Honestly, I'm indifferent about it.
It's not that game changing. Like, let's be real here.
Yeah.
Like, how many
It doesn't
times
make
have you
that much
seen
of a difference.
how many times have you seen like a double kill by Machina? And like
Pretty rare.
in the first place, like why would your medic be like standing in the open? Like, have you ever told your medic like, oh, they have a sniper, hide behind me? Like, has that ever happened? You tell them to get a fucking cover, right?
No, not always.
I don't
Depends
know.
if you have to solve low.
I think
then,
the
you
cow.
know,
Have you
maybe.
talked? Have you talked about the cam angle yet? Because I think that's also
yeah.
quite a big issue.
Yeah,
We
we're
got
not.
diverted to the Machina discussion.
You should probably talk about the cam angler because, like, again, it's like if you look at the weapon, it's a straight upgrade from the rocket launcher completely.
Was it allowed last season?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
How
currently
come people
legal.
didn't use it then? If
They
it's an
did.
upgrade.
It was changed.
Damn, needs to use this.
Oh, it was used this season, but it was recently changed to fix, I think, an unlisted reload nerf, I believe.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It had not
So
even a full second extra reload
people
time.
people never used it because they believed that it was worse than the stock. But then when that was changed and it was legalized, people tried it again and they fell in love with it essentially. But
I
So
guess
does
I just
everyone
haven't
use
played
it?
against it. I've never played against it, so I guess I'll just not say anything about it
the
then.
only downside to the weapon is that you can't damage buildings very much.
Yeah. So apart from last pushes where they have a sentry, like if you just switch off it for the last push, there's not really a reason. Like there's like obviously this the aesthetic reason of using like a rocket launcher that you've used forever rather than this like ugly looking laser weapon. But if you actually take that away, the cow mangler is just a direct upgrade because there's no longer a need to ammo manage, which means you stick it on your roamer and you never have that situation where the roamer needs to get ammo. They can stand this indefinitely watching somewhere. I never have to worry about running out of ammo. And they also have a charge shot, which granted doesn't get used that much, but still, like, you could use it. I don't know. Like, I've never seen, like, in my experience, I've never seen anyone successfully do anything important, like in pugs maybe, but not in actual games.
I think Cow Mangler is similar to Crossbow in that it is overpowered, but people don't mind it as much.
I mean, yeah, like
I think people do. I think people do mind it. I think there's quite a lot of people that don't like it being allowed.
Oh yeah.
I don't
It's
mind
like
It could
in
use
a
a slight
way,
nerf.
it's like a straight upgrade in a way, but it like so it's not that.
It's a
big
straight
of an
upgrade only
upgrade.
because of the ammo. I think if
Yeah.
I think if their reload thing was brought in, like remember the reload thing, it wasn't even a full second extra reload time when it had the reload bug with it. So like I feel like if that ever came back, people would still use it. Now they know how good it is, but like it really doesn't feel that awful. You got infinite ammo. That's literally it. I guess the charge shot too is kind of annoying.
It also makes this game look a little bit
Space
cartoonish.
like.
Overwatch.
Yeah, a little bit yeah.
TF2 does usually look pretty realistic.
Just doesn't it
The
doesn't really
worst
make it look
argument
as
I've ever
serious,
heard
you know?
for banning a weapon.
I know,
Maybe
but
look
someone
serious.
mentioned it, and it was honestly
No.
like a pretty decent point because like you watch it and you're like, I don't know, man, this doesn't look like a very serious game to me. They're just spamming lasers across the map.
Why don't we
someone
give
said that in
every
the-
class? Why don't we give every class a laser weapon that has infinite
Every
ammo?
class is
How about
supposed to have
that?
a laser
Every class
weapon.
should wear a suit and tie so they look professional.
Like I don't know whether it should be banned. I'm just going to put the arguments for what people have said to me that why it should be banned about being just an upgrade and it gets rid of ammo management, which is a very important part of the game.
That's fine, but then you can use that argument for other weapons like crossbow.
Yeah, but the crossbow. I mean, yeah, the crossbow is incredibly overpowered, but it's like it's so integral to the meta right now. Removing
It
it would be
speeds up the game so much.
like I would quit medic if I didn't have the crossbow. I'd
I
say
think
that.
I think crossbow is like a healthy like crossbow is really overpowered, but I think it's more.
It's skillful.
Yeah,
It's
it's more a healthy. It's like a more healthier in the sense of it does reward more skillful gameplay compared to like a Calminger or something.
I don't
I like
think
how he'll
anyone's.
at this point just to like draw a parallel, and suddenly the two medic mates are shitting their pants.
I can play about the crossbow. I love the syringe gun, but
Oh, I don't like.
I've played
banned or
about the
not.
crossbow. I don't want to go back to those dark times.
It's just
A
the logic
crossbow
of
is
it.
a necessary evil in a way. It's like the one exception, or like gunboats as well. I think everyone is like fine with making these exceptions because they expand the skill of the class.
It's like the perfect unlock in a way. Like in my eyes, like it's if you're bad with it, you're going to be bad with it. It's not going to infect the game. But if you're really good with it, then you're going to affect the game a lot. That's what you want. Skill stuff.
The crossbow makes a massive impact on the game. Calmangler really doesn't, does it?
Not really.
Like I keep saying, it doesn't really matter if we ban it or not. So if it's annoying to people, then just ban it, just so I don't have to hear them complain about it.
I don't know.
But,
Like,
I mean, if it's a non-factor, so far we've approached those things as being legal. Things like Eureka Effect or Southern Hospitality, like those things have zero impact on the game, so they're just allowed.
If it's overpowered, then there's no alternative to use it, then
I can only really think of one soldier in Prem that's actually used it, and it's damn easy. Out of the entire of last season, everyone else used the stock. So
And he
even with
used it
being
only
fun-
because of the memes.
It was it was really different
that's the
in
best
NA.
reason to use it.
Every NA game had at least 2 soldiers running it. Like
Oh, really? That's like
across-
super
yeah.
different.
Interesting.
Was because NA people want to win, dude.
That's my problem with whitelists. Is you put one argument for banning something, but then you use the same criteria for it for not banning something else. It's just why it's all a mess. At the end of the day, I just don't really mind too much what's banned and what isn't banned.
Like, I don't have a strong opinion about that. I do about Jurati. All the others, like, I don't really have a strong opinion on. Is that all of them then? Has we talked about all of them, or is there any more?
I think that's all. Unless
Like
someone else has one.
Zerati, Machina, and Calmaker. So I want to talk about being banned.
Drati, Machina, and Calmangler.
And
Yeah,
Rescue Ranger was.
Oh, yeah.
Rescue Ranger,
I don't know. I think that it was pretty split on Machina. Maybe even favoring like just leave it in.
Oh, we weren't saying banned. We were just saying what we talked about.
All right, fine.
Like, that's what we're saying. Like, I don't think a single decision has been made whether to ban anything in this Discord at the moment.
No. Yeah.
What I'm gonna do is take this list. I'm gonna mark it as Drati ban, and Machina unban, Rescue Ranger ban, and
I think you should mark Machina
What was
as
the last
Wait,
ban.
what? You want to ban Gerati?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
Some
Lord.
people do.
what was the fourth
Alright.
one, Grant?
Calmaker.
So wait, you're going to
ban?
take the list. Who are you giving the list to?
To Val?
I'm gonna publish it on the forums. The OzFortress admins are not here, as far as I know.
What about Asia Fortress?
Unless
Are they
Obla's here.
Obla's here. He's online.
No.
I think people are not realizing
So
how
what I'm
good
gonna do
Natasha
is,
is.
Natasha.
Oh yeah. We didn't
How many
talk about
people have tried running it, like actually running it, like on last holds?
All the time.
When I
I
do
use
it,
all the time.
it just feels fucking cheesy. Like like there's a lot of times where I live with like very low HP, or I get knocked down to like 50 health and then get crossbowed on top of damage resistance, on top of the fact that I'm invincible
reason
because I can
crossbow
walk
should
and
be banned.
spawn. Like
Well, it was banned for a very long time, and then they nerfed it, and then they allowed it because, like, and yeah, it's still kind of annoying, but it's
not that game changing.
It's
like
not that game changing.
you have Ghost of Running originally, right? That gives you this 30% speed bonus, and that's like ridiculous. But then you have Eviction Notice, that's like it's like half the speed, and no one minds because it's so tiny. And then you have the what's it called? You have the damage reduction fist, the Fist of Steel. That's 40%. That's ridiculous. Like that kills an entire push. And then you have the Natasha, which is like you have to be under 50% health, and you have to be spun up, and then you get minus 20%.
right, it only gives you 300. It gives you 380 effective, or it gives you 480 effective health points instead of 450. But I think the slow
it's like
is I-
30 health buff. It's
yeah,
like
it's
nothing.
30 extra health, but I think the slow is just crazy for like enemy teams try like into bigger lasts. Like it does less over range, but like you can still totally like notice like scouts just getting like it looks like
doesn't
they're
slow down invert players.
I think it's just a scene thing because, like, I don't think anyone. I don't know if. I don't think we've ever used it. I'm not sure. Like, it doesn't seem to be like that much of a deal. Like, I've not
It's
really
not as
noticed the
impactful.
slowdown.
We just use it because it tilts people.
But
So we win the psychological warfare.
That's your entire team in a nutshell, Hildreth.
Yeah, win the psychological warfare, win the game.
I think it's a
But
pretty sick
really
unlock. I use it all the
yeah.
time, but I don't think it needs to be banned.
It doesn't need to be banned. It's not that impactful, in my opinion.
But the Commangler is.
No, it's not.
No, the Commangler
I
isn't. We
wasn't.
didn't say anything about that.
I wasn't
It's just-
against Commander.
Yeah, and again, that's just. I think that brings up the point that you guys were bringing up earlier, which is that we were just not consistent about what's impactable and what's not, what you're
Yeah.
banning based on annoyance and what's not. What we did with the first meeting was we actually didn't wrap it up in one meeting. We talked about it in one meeting, and then we actually came together in a second meeting right before the season started, just so that we could have some time to sleep on it and think it over with, talk to your friends about it. I think I'm going to post this list, like I said. And ESCA, for us at least, I don't know when ETF2 starts, but our league doesn't start for another 10 days.
End of January at some point.
It's like right now. It's tomorrow.
I think,
the Premiership playoffs start. So in a week, the weeks will actually start.
You guys have a week.
Yeah.
So your first scheduled matches will start like the 20-something.
It'll be after LAN, surely, right, Mincy?
Probably after LAN. I mean, I think LAN is a great place to talk about this too, but
I think
you shouldn't change anything until after it, though.
I think we should wait until after LAN.
Yeah,
definitely.
LAN is going to use the current whitelist, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Or I don't know.
The LAN was said to use whatever the official global whitelist is at the time of the match. So if this gets set as official, it
I
would be
don't
used at that event.
think you should change it, even if it gets set as official between now and the LAN.
how about we do this? I'll do a really conservative one that just unbans the really safe stuff, and then for the most part, I'll leave it the same as it was for last season. So I'll leave the Drati unbanned, like I'll leave the Machina unbanned, and just keep relatively the same list. But the stuff that let's go down the list one more last time here for the last 10 minutes and really lock down what absolutely needs to change, and then we'll just go the really conservative list for the LAN. Does that sound agreeable, guys?
Yeah, sure.
Then we'll play through it on that weekend, and then we'll come back, and then the admins can finalize their league list. So what I have right now is, let me go through the list here. I'm gonna unban the soda popper.
Solemn Vow.
Oh yeah,
I'm going down the class list here. I'm banning the Rescue Ranger. Unbanning the Dalico's Bar. Unbanning the Quick Fix. Banning the Machina. Banning the Gerati. And that's it. I think we'll leave
Thompson,
the Commangler in there.
I think.
The Thompson's
Yeah.
unbanned
Yeah.
as well. You're right.
Well,
I'm gonna post
I
this
think-
list just so that there's no confusion.
So do you have
Did you say
Solemn
you were
Vow?
banning?
Solemn Vow is banned.
Okay.
Did you say you're banning or unbanning the Machina?
Let me go through the list of banned weapons. That way it's clear. Bonk Atomic Punch, Criticola, Flying Guillotine. Actually, let me generate this list so that you guys can see it yourselves. I'm putting it in the channel. I'll read it out in case anyone can't read it. So the Bonk Atomic Punch, Criticola, Flying Guillotine, Mad Milk, Atomizer, Sandman. Commangler is unbanned. Sorry, I accidentally banned it. Disciplinary Action is banned. Rescue Ranger, Short Circuit, Wrangler, Buffalo Steak Sandwich, Fist of Steel, Gloves Running Urgently, Machina, Sydney Sleeper, Darwin's Danger Shield, Gerati, Solemn Vow, Vita Saw, and a bunch of taunts.
All right, just to make sure, this is just for the LAN, right?
This is just for
This
the
is for
LAN,
this
a
week,
from today.
essentially.
Okay.
Like
Yeah,
we can still reevaluate this week, right? This is just like what everyone should be testing for the coming week.
Yeah.
And I definitely think
Because-
it should be like there should be
Do
another.
you want to
meet-
schedule a follow-up meeting on Thursday?
Yeah.
Or Friday. Yeah, so let's do
maybe
Thursday.
I
'cause
think, yeah, I
think
think
Friday
Can we
would be
try
good 'cause
Wednesday or Friday?
Friday is good.
Because
Just
Friday,
Friday
most
night?
I know, like at
Together
least
in
me, we're leaving to LAN.
I mean, the problem is that people have jobs and stuff during the week. So
No, people are gonna be at LAN on Friday.
Friday
Yes.
night, I mean, we could do
Yeah.
an in-person meeting, and then we'll just do it with the we'll do it with Sammy there, so she can make the call.
You should test
How
the
about
quick fix at LAN.
Why
So
is the solemn
this
vow
week.
You guys should
banned in this
definitely
whitelist?
test
I
quick
thought
fix
we
this week.
agreed to unban the
They're
solemn
throwing
vow.
a more general safe of banning and unbanning.
Don't you think it's
Do you want to
fine
make it even safer by keeping the quick fix ban and stuff like that? Do you want to do it that way?
I think it'd be safer to keep the quick fix ban until
definitely.
for the LAN, at
Do
least
you guys
this week.
agree that it's fine to ban the weapons for LAN, but not unban them for LAN?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say,
Cool.
if nothing else, keep the quick fix banned for LAN. 100%.
You should have this discussion with people
Well,
who are going to LAN, not like.
I mean, the only
reject people
unbans
who
we
aren't.
actually tackled were the Thompson, the Dolago's bar, and the soda popper.
Okay,
No,
yeah,
we
so
didn't unban the solemn vow.
I
Do
agree
you
with
want it?
not unbanning anything onto LAN, but you could ban things.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll leave the soda popper banned. We'll leave the Dolago's bar banned, and the Rescue Ranger unbanned. Or do you want to ban that? But you want to
anything that was questionable ban, I think you should ban, and then anything that was questionable unban, just keep it unbanned, I guess.
That would mean Cow Mangler,
Okay, posting a
Girardi,
final
and
list here.
Machina and Rescue Ranger would all be added to the ban list for this event, and
The
then
Cow Mangler would be added. Okay.
then you would reconsider after the event the list that you had previously 6764. That one.
Yeah. All right. Yep. So let me give you 6768, which is the final one.
Haven't we agreed to try out the solemn vow? It's banned on the.
Yeah, that's what
Well,
I'm saying.
we just talked about how we're not going to unban anything prior to
Yeah,
that.
but this is the list after the LAN.
After the LAN, do you want
But
to
what
ban the
about
solemn vow?
what about the Natasha?
Should we?
You want to
I
ban the
think the
Natasha for the
general
LAN?
consensus was the Natasha was fine.
we're not banning Natasha.
I think
it's
it's
fine.
fine.
Unban.
I
But
mean, you
no,
can't for the LAN. Like, I don't care about the LAN.
Yeah.
But
I think the only issue here is that we're not going to learn anything from the LAN, but I do know that the LAN has like a pretty large prize pool for the scene, so
I don't want to
wouldn't
introduce
want you guys
anything
to have
really
to like
random.
come up with some
Yeah.
last second strats. Yeah, exactly. All right. I think a reasonable thing to do would be to at the LAN, or whenever whoever's listening to this right now who isn't able to talk, thanks for guys for listening. Go talk to your friends about it. Talk on the forums about it. And this isn't the final list, right? Like, I think we went through 2 or 3 iterations before we published the first global whitelist. So just let's talk about it, and then let's reconvene after the LAN. Although I know it's a really late amount of time. I have an ETF to admin here, do I?
You
An
got
ETF to
Menti.
admin.
there's 3, yeah.
Menti, Chris.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's your first day of gameplay? Is it the
Do you mean
23rd?
You mean the main season?
Yes.
The main season is the 22nd.
The 22nd would be your first week of gameplay.
Yeah.
So you guys need a whitelist defined by the 22nd, and unfortunately, that'll be post LAN.
Well, ESCA is the same timeline.
ESCA is on the same exact timeline.
Yeah. I think
So how are we going to come up with a decision for
Yeah,
the
'cause you guys
regular
need to
season?
test- you guys need
without
to
seeing the
test
LAN?
stuff like, because I'm not
Yeah.
really that willing to ban stuff like quick fix.
Could do like a cup or something, maybe.
I
Like a
think
one day.
you're really traumatized.
Yeah, but I mean,
The thing is, those cups don't really get enough play, like enough people to play. I think getting them on on PugChamp or something would be more effective.
Yeah, that could be something. You speak to Aaron about.
Okay, I could propose a more experimental whitelist for PugChamp. Would you guys be willing to play on that in PugChamp
Yeah,
for a
I
week?
mean, you have to
leading
have
the
their
LAN?
admins on board with that,
Yeah,
It's not hard to get a hold of.
so if you're doing that, just be really liberal and like try everything.
Okay, so let's have AIDS pugs for a week, and then the LAN will be really standard, and then we'll come back after that, and hopefully we'll have a great whitelist for the following season.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Great. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate your time.
Bye. Bye. Thanks.
Have a good weekend, guys. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
You too, Slim.